Whoop whoop. Oh man, what is going on, everybody? We got a doozy of a show for you. Whitney, the president of the Dead Parents Club, got engaged. Joel as well, because it takes two to tango. They are engaged. I heard the news today as I was scrambling around to find my hats. Couldn't find the Bucky's hat. Pretty sure it is being washed, or it will be washed today. So we found this hat instead. I was like, okay, let's go. And of course, prayer always holds up. The Coach household always does. I actually see the picture. I'm not going to show you guys, but Whitney is showing me. Showed me the ring. It is massive. It is massive. Huge ring right here. We'll have to hear that story. Hopefully you tell that story in the comment section. Someone said yellow hat next time. I threw that hat in the bin with all of my kids' toys. So I wasn't rifling through there to find it. But I'm not going through that whole thing, that Pandora's box. It's crazy. But we got this hat, which we should, because we are going to talk about Candace. We are going to talk about a bunch of different things. And I know you're like, Candace is off. What could you possibly have to say about Candace? Well, there's been some odd developments. We'll get into that. Very odd situation. So, also, somebody who, I don't want to say trolled or heckled the Turning Point event with Caroline Levitt. I'm not going to say he trolled, but he asked a question that they weren't prepared for. He actually speaks a little bit and tells us what it really looked like on the inside of that whole thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is upset with a Easter message from the president. Baron Coleman as well. I just hear myself going doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. What's going on here? Okay, there he is. Beautiful. Then we have Dan Bongino revealing that he actually had some interesting ties to Turning Point the entire time, which a lot of us suspected, but he just put it out there. And then Joe Rogan revealing something very odd. Gary talks about his time being a Fed of sorts. Kanye West, monumental comeback. Monumental. It was mental, man. And then we're going to just talk about all the things that have happened in the administration, because there's been some things that have happened. But anyways, guys, hope you guys have had a great weekend. Hope it was short. I'm kidding. The weekends are long. 48 hours is a very long time, you know? They should give us more, but fine. 48. You know? But yeah, it should be 72 hours, but okay. In Europe, they get to take a nap in the middle of the day and the whole city, wherever you are, shuts down. Fine, but maybe we should have something similar. You know what I mean? Anyway, just saying, what is the rest of the world gets to run kind of slow and they kind of make the same money and everything. Why do we have to just grind it into the ground every single day? I'm just saying. Let's jump in here. And of course, very, very thankful for the country and everything it's done. Very thankful that Turning Point is under new leadership. I played this with Zach Costello, but it was just a joke that I played. You know, it was just a quick joke. But it's actually been revealed. This is This is what's happening at Turning Point right now. Just check it out, guys. Love the new watermark fleet.
A lot of this could be done without me, and I believe that. I mean, from the high school department, the college department, let's make Turning Point so big that it can survive beyond just the founder. A lot of organizations and groups, as soon as a founder leaves, it just kind of collapses. A lot of my job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. And by figure it out, I mean they will appoint Baron Coleman as CEO of Turning Point and Candace Owens as COO. I think they are both exceptional people and would do such a good job in honoring my legacy.
I mean, guys, there you have it. Are you kidding me? This is going to be great. That was Charlie, right? That was obviously Charlie, right? I mean, was it not? I don't understand. It sounded like him. And listen, I'll just say this. There is a video that we could play of him saying that. But all of you psychos out there wouldn't even believe it if we showed you. So we're not going to show you, okay? You guys are nuts, and you're not going to believe it anyway. You're just going to say it's AI and all sorts of wild things, you theorists. I know how you guys are, you mint daddies out there. I know how you guys are going to react, so we're not even going to show you the video of him saying it. It exists. It exists. It does. But we're not showing it to you, okay? That's the decision we've made. So, it's been about, I think, Barron said he accept. He said he will be at the headquarters 8 a.m. Monday, start as the new CEO. Look alive, team. We have a lot of work to do. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he should have been there. It's already in full swing. It's already in full swing. How happy is everybody about this? I mean, really, really nice here. I mean, look at them both so happy, you know? Come on. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to be great, guys. I expect to see great, incredible things from Turning Point now that Barron has taken over. Imagine you play this. Imagine you play this for Blake and he's just like, well, there you have. Okay. Barron, your name? Hi. Come on in. You just play that. You play that for Andrew and Blake. They're just like, checks out. Okay, come on in. Erica hears this. She goes, yeah, yeah, okay. Candace too? All right, come on in, guys. That's not what's going to happen. It would be something, though. It would be a fun little thing to see. And of course, people are making these things because they're trying to show everybody how ridiculous it seems. Just ridiculous, right? To just play things like that, say 100%, this is it, and there's a video, but we're not going to show it to you. Wasn't actually calling you guys psychos. That's what Blake was referring to all of us, as he watched Candace ask him about the recording and the video and to release it. He said no. He referred to her as a crazy person wielding a knife on a subway. So, there you have it. That's the reason why we're never going to see the video, because there are people who will doubt it. Why release the audio then? Oh, wouldn't there still be people? Wouldn't all of us maniacs on subways still doubt it? Even if you just played the audio? But if you don't care about that, then you wouldn't care about the video. Who am I to say? I think that the one that they actually played is Candace played it on Thursday or Wednesday, last Wednesday. I think it's very clearly stitched together. I don't think it's fake. I don't think they made a fake thing. I think they took real things that Charlie has said, and I think they just kind of stringed it together. I think that's what it sounds like to me, at least. Anyway, having some fun here. Hope Barron saw that. Imagine Barron is CEO of Turning Point. That'd actually be pretty good, you know? I know maybe he hasn't worked in the nonprofit before. I think that'd be pretty solid. Him and Candace together, I think that'd be pretty solid. Pretty solid. Because then the whole inner circle gets fired, you know? Erica just resides on the advisory board, the advisory council that they have. That's where she stays. That's it, you know? Be perfect. I think it would be perfect, you know? But they just wouldn't give in to all the stuff, you know? There'd be no talking about like, oh, this is what Charlie wanted. No. There'd be none of that. There'd be more town halls. There'd be more questioning that place in the Middle East. Someone said play it again. Like you have to hear it again. Like, hold on a second. Let me hear that one more time. Actually, I don't know about what I was just hearing. No, we're not going to play it again. Shout out to Fleet for finding it. Not for making it, for finding it. Fleet unearthed that, okay? She discovered it. Anyway, very interesting stuff. John Mappin reveals that something in Candace's world when she gets back might just be, I don't know, colossal, huge, truth bomb. I don't know what you want to call it. It's going to be pretty crazy by what he's showing right here. He says, I had a call after Candace's show on Thursday from one of the mega donors to Turning Point that we introduced to Charlie. They were at the Aspen meeting of donors to which Candace referred. And then he just kind of puts the eyes, right? Right? Then there's a little bit more to it. Now, there's some people who right away, diligent denizens, like they have video. Sam is like, and what did he say? This is what Sword Truth says. He says, what did they say? He said, excellent question. All will be revealed. So it seems like they actually have someone who was there who is actually willing to talk about this whole thing. Then he releases this hours later. Says, wheels are in motion with a little bomb emoji here. Tags Candace and Ian. Very interesting. Now, what's also interesting about this, and I won't reveal all the details, but somebody who doesn't follow me, okay? Someone who doesn't follow me, they send me this exact post, okay? And they say simply, good job. They're a very big supporter of Candace. Again, they don't follow me, but they send me that post that I just showed you. And they say, good job. Like as if they want me to know about this whole thing. I already knew about it because I stay with my finger on the pulse. The Candace Whisperer does not take a day off. So I already knew about it. But the fact that this very big person sends me this thing, again, they don't follow me. So it was very weird that they sent me anything. And they just wrote, good job. I found that to be very, very weird. And obviously it was trying to notify me about this whole thing, which leads me to believe that something big is actually going to be revealed. To send it to me, you don't follow me. We don't even know each other. I don't repost them all that much or anything. For them to send that to me seemed really, really weird. Really, really weird. So they sent it to me like they wanted me to see it. Don't get it, but we'll see. We'll see what pops up from all of this. I think that Candace is about to show us Mint Mobile, if that's real. Yeah, that should sponsor me. I think Candace is about to show us exactly what happened in that meeting via this donor very soon. So, yeah, it was very sketchy. But the thing is, it was a real account. It wasn't like a fake account, someone trying to be someone else. Big supporter of Candace's. And they just send me that, and it just says, good job. Which I don't know what that means. I'm like, what do you mean, good job? Like, I didn't do it. I'm like, you think I did this? I don't know. Seems odd. Seems very, very odd. But it seems like something's cooking, and they kind of want people to know. They kind of want people to be talking about this. I don't know. I haven't talked to Candace. I don't talk to Candace. I don't know Candace. But someone, very big person, just sent that to me. So that's when she gets back. That should be next Monday. That should be by next Monday. And hopefully I'll be able to report on it. But I will be knee deep in newborn by that time. The wife and I will be knee deep in newborn by that time. So we will have to see what my schedule is starting to look like by then. Maybe I will be here at the same time. I will just have big bags under my eyes, and I will be half awake, and I will nod in and out as I play clips for you guys. Maybe that's where I'll be at, super fatherhood mode. But, that's the clip, Lance. Something big is going on with Candace, and it's not like the other vacations where she just says we're off, taking some time off. Usually she doesn't even explain why she's going off. Sometimes it'll be the holidays, occasions, etc. This time when she went off, she said it's because the team has a lot of research to do. They do a lot of research. She brought up the fact that there was so much to look into. So we'll see. Maybe a wrap up of the Erica Kirk series. Maybe something else. I'm not 100% sure, but the whole thing was a very weird occurrence, especially because it involves me. Usually I like to be a fly on the wall, seeing things happen, just a fly with a hat on and headphones, just seeing what's happening, hearing what's going on. But this time, the person like threw me in there for a second. Oh, this is very weird. Anyway, that's the clip, Lance. Let's jump into the next thing here. Erica Kirk. Now, if you guys don't know, I talked about this before, but I couldn't find the clip. I finally found the clip. Erica was talking or having a conversation, then a Q&A, alongside Caroline Levitt, the press secretary. I'm sure you guys all remember that. They all had this moment going on, right? And I was telling you how there was someone who asked a question that had Erica looking like this. This is not because she can't hear. This is because she's like, who let this person talk? She's getting ready. She's like, well, I'm a press secretary. I see what's going on here. I deal with CNN all the time. Erica's like, I can't believe this is happening. Now, I'll play this for you guys first, and then I'm going to show the guy who actually is asking the question, because he speaks about what it was like, I guess, quote unquote, behind the scenes as somebody who got to ask questions. Here, let's play this.
Voter fraud.
Watch her face, okay? Watch her face as he's asking this question. She's not ready. I'm telling you, this is Kamala Harris all over again.
Voter fraud is incredibly rare. According to the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative database, by the way, there have only been a few hundred cases of voter fraud since 1982 out of hundreds of millions of votes. Additionally, according to the Brennan Institute of Justice, there are 21.8 million Americans who do not have easy access to proofs of citizenship. So my question to you is it worth it to risk millions of Americans from voting in order to prevent a few hundred cases of voter fraud?
First of all, thank you for the question. No need to boo. It's an honest question. I'm happy to give you an honest answer. First of all, I have not seen the data you provided, so I'd like to go check it myself and make sure that it's actually accurate in the way that you're citing it. And there is certainly much more, I believe, voter fraud in this country, and I'm sure the statistics back it up, than what you cited with one survey. And why are you okay with any voter fraud in the United States of America?
So that is the answer. Now you can see Erica does not know what's going on. She's like, Erica's looking like, I thought we kicked all these people out. She was like, when I was at Arkansas, we made sure Dee got a podcast, couldn't get in. Okay. I figured we were doing the same thing here. How is this person with this aggressive tone getting to ask me a question? Could you imagine if she was by herself? Can you imagine if this lady wasn't there? Could you imagine what would happen? Oh my goodness gracious, what would happen? She was not ready for this at all. Now, again, this is the guy who actually asked the question. He's sitting on this news outlet. I've never heard of this news outlet, to be honest with you. Right? Let me see here. What does that say? Nadia Network? Is that what that says? Is that Nadia? I don't understand. But he is speaking about this whole thing. Listen to this.
You could say something to Erica Kirk right now. What would you tell her?
Stop.
I would say that I am disappointed in how her organization now, Turning Point, is handling freedom of speech. Because one thing that I did really respect about Charlie Kirk was the fact that he did value freedom of speech. And he did go and he talked to people that he disagreed with. And that is something that just seems to be partially lost. And, with this event, I've talked about it some, but just to clarify even more, the people that went before me in the Q&A, they were part of the event themselves. And they were designated those spots in line for the Q&A as well. At least 3 out of 4 of them. I'm not positive on the fourth, but at least 3 out of 4 of them. And so they're designating the spots. And also at least half of them were not GW students either. They're designating the spots to ask their panelists to people that they know support the administration. In a situation where
I just have to say, I'll go back a little bit. He said half of them weren't GW students, right? That was the school that they were at. He said half of them weren't the students of that school. Again, I go back to Harris. It is the exact same thing. Who were the other halves? Who were the other people that were there? I'm not going to say that they were bussed in. I can't say that. I wasn't there. I didn't see any buses. And there's nothing like that that's popped up. But who were those people that were shipped in there? Is it because she couldn't fill the venue? Because people didn't care enough? Is that what it was? Or was it something of a astroturf type of thing going on? I will let you decide that.
People that they know support the administration in a situation where they also know that they have limited time. 2 people that they know support the administration. They're designating the spots to ask their panelists 2 people that they know support the administration in a situation where they also know that they have limited time. And then they end the Q&A before they get to the first person that opposes the administration, and possibly the first person that isn't part of the event themselves, not to mention the 20 other people behind me in line who also wanted to ask a question and didn't have time to do so. And so I don't blame them for ending the Q&A because, sure, they were running out of time. I get it. Caroline Levitt is, 9 months pregnant now? I understand. But if you have limited time, why are you not allowing the actual students to speak first?
Interesting. This is where we're at, and we're going to see more of this as this tour, if they keep going to schools at least. As we see this keep on going, we're going to hear more and more students saying this type of stuff. Of course. And let me tell you something. Right now we're talking about Erica, a turning point. Don't think that this doesn't happen in every instance where there's people who get to ask questions. They prepare this type of thing. They make sure. I don't care who it's been, how much you supported them, how much you liked them. When the questions are being asked, they don't look for dissenting people. They don't look for people who don't like the person that is in the panel or, doing the event. They don't look for that. They look for supporters. And if they can't find supporters, they will make them. And they will make those questions. That's exactly what's happening here. Apparently. Very, very wild that this is happening. Again, she was just not prepared. She wasn't ready. Because a question like this wasn't supposed to make it through. She's like, what the hell is this?
Incredibly.
She's like, what's going on right now? Is this guy gonna start applauding me or what's happening? She's like, I can't effing believe this. I can't effing believe that they let this guy through. I am going to have Andrew's head. I don't have any sparkles with me. There are no pyrotechnics. I requested them. And now I have to listen to this question of which I don't even understand. She's pissed. She's like, I am going to just tear Blake and Andrew a new one. I'm going to tear them such big new ones that they're going to just be together. I'm going to make sure they go together, and they're going to have a brand new one that's going to be both of them stitched together. That's what I'm going to do. She's pissed. As she should be, I think, because she can't handle questions like this. If you can't handle questions like this, they should know better than to let that type of thing happen. But, that's how it works. She looks like she's annoyed. Of course she's annoyed. She's very annoyed with what's going on because that wasn't supposed to happen. Like he even just described, they were letting all these other people who weren't students ask these questions. This is how astroturfing works. You mix in the real with the astro. That's how it works. So you make sure all the astroturf type people, they're at the front of everything. And then the people who are real, maybe they get mixed in. Maybe it just ends up happening because you don't want to push students away. That guy just got through the cracks. And he seems like he was the only one who got through the cracks. Because honestly, we all know if she's picking up, if this is even a hint of her picking up where Charlie left off, Charlie would do these type of events too. He would have a conversation with someone, allow the questions. When he went to schools, when he went to universities, always the conversation was about the Middle East and why America's supporting that place in the Middle East so much. The fact that they don't like it. They don't like war. They don't like what's going on with the admin. It was always questions like that because Charlie did it real. He did it real. I will say that. I know I said most people do this type of thing. Charlie seems like he did not do that at all, because it seems like he could handle anybody. But even when he would get those questions, he was kind of taken aback, and he didn't actually know what to fully say, because it went against what he believed, or at least what he was showing that he believed to the public. Who knows what he was messaging to Candace, right? Usually a completely different thing. But yeah, very interesting. Erica Kirk also comments on Operation Epic Fury. I don't know if you guys saw this at all. I have not seen her tweet out like this before in decades. I want to say decades. When does she ever tweet like this? Never seen it. And then when she does do it, it's not about Charlie, it's not about Drewski, it's not about Candace, it's not about anything. It's about Operation Epic Fury. Regardless of your opinion on Operation Epic Fury or your political affiliation, we have the greatest military in the world. Its strength lies not just in power, but in the courage, discipline, and sacrifice of our troops. God bless our men and women in uniform. There you go. You know, very interesting to say that type of thing. To be very, I'm not going to say against what Charlie wanted, but definitely not carrying the torch of what Charlie was saying. You know, Erica often would say, well, she said at least like, often, like 3 times, she talked about having these notes from Charlie and these blueprints from Charlie. Charlie made it very clear how he thought about this whole thing, how he thought about what's going on. We've all talked about it. Candace has talked about it. You've seen the tweets. You've seen, Turning Point getting community noted and everything. You've seen all this. So the fact that she's trying to take this little stance, like regardless of what you think, and then of course somebody, right away, not an Erica supporter, if you'd guess, they made sure to just leave what Charlie actually said about this whole thing. I'll make sure not to get the Fleet's comment, because Fleet's comments right below it, and it's absolutely wild. Fleet's just like, you're a dumb, see you next Tuesday. Jeez, Fleet, come on. It's going unnoticed because so much so much other news is happening, but the war drums are beating in DC. When did he say this? This is just over a year ago, just under a year ago. 2025, just over a year. April 3rd, 2025. We're at April 6th right now. So just a year and 3 days he said this. It's going unnoticed because there's so much other news. The war drums are beating again in DC. The warmongers worry this is their last chance to get the white whale they've been chasing for 30 years, an all-out regime change. A new Middle East war would be a catastrophic mistake. Military stockpiles are depleted from 3 years of backing Ukraine. Our effort to reshore manufacturing has only just begun and will take years to bear fruit. Just make sure you guys can see it. War would often worsen our already immense deficit in national debt. Iran is larger than Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan combined, and a war would not be easy and could easily become a calamity. Thanks to the president's restraint during his first term, America has a golden opportunity to pull away from the Middle East quagmires for good. We shouldn't throw that opportunity away so that some DC has-beens can feel tough by sending young Americans to die yet again. I mean, that was just a year ago. Like, if you're going to follow all the notes, the mountain of notes, Charlie had these notes and these visions up until 2092. I mean, it was crazy, all these notes, and he left them just for Erica. And then there was some for Mikey McCoy, and he wrote them out so meticulous. And he used a feather pen, you understand. He would dip it in ink, and he'd write it every single day. These words are etched in stone. They're amazing. They're on stone tablets, and they're emeralds as well. If you're going to follow any note that he left, I think this would be the one. Sad. Very sad. But I mean, that's just a little update on her. And then, of course, a lot of people were upset about the entire thing when it came to this little presentation that they had together. Imagine telling women to suppress their biological urge to reproduce and have a family instead answer emails that AI will do for you in 5 years. We need more moms and less corporate middle-level managers. Okay, and that's Charlie. That's what Charlie's saying here. And then the other one, Turning Point, Caroline Levitt. You can have both, and you should do both, because actually being a mom and having a family and having a job gives you the greatest perspective. Where are Charlie's notes? Hey, where are the notes? Where are they? What do they seem like? Can I see the notes? I would love to see the notes. Is this what he put in the notes? I hope not. I doubt it. I have to say, I doubt that he put that type of stuff in the notes to just go ahead and do this and go against everything he was saying. I'm pretty sure he didn't do anything like that. I'm almost 100% positive. Okay? Because if we're supposed to believe that this was in the notes, then Baron Coleman is the CEO of Turning Point as of today. Okay? I hope he put on his best Adidas hoodie and he's in there. Navy blue. Be professional, sir. Navy blue Adidas hoodie. And he's in there right now giving orders and taking names. I hope he is. Don't let them shred all the file. Don't let them shred all of Charlie's notes, Baron. Stop it. Stop the shredders. Anyway, absolutely ridiculous. So that's your little Erica update. Let's end it off with a little update in terms of. I just found this funny. I just found this really funny. It's just a little Turning Point update before we head into some other stuff here. More Turning Point adjacent stuff, I guess. But Andrew sat down with this guy. This guy's from OAN, same outlet that Matt Gaetz now has a show on, OAN, and he had this to say about Tyler Robinson.
I know you've been swamped. How you been?
I'm doing all right, Dan. Thanks so much for having me, and that was a very thorough and accurate lead up, so I appreciate that.
Thanks. I get a little hot, as you know. Andrew and I had a good half-hour call last night before he decided to come on today, and I expressed things I won't say on the air because it'd get me thrown off television. But I'm so frustrated for you and for the team, and especially for Erica, with all these lies. And I don't want to delay. I want this damn sicko to be found guilty, and I wish we could take him out and do you know what in the street, because we used to do that to send a message. That won't happen. But I wish we could get to that point. And
how old is this guy? I asked those questions. I never thought Barron was old, but he told me he had 8 kids. So I'm like, when did he start? I'm like, that's crazy. You have to understand, I was a drug addict when I was 19. So I was like, there's no way he started then. I'm like, if he's anything like me, there's no way he started at that point. But how old is this gentleman that he's saying that they used to drag people in the streets and do you know what to them before their trial was even done? How old is this guy? Is this guy 119 years old? Is he 145 years old? Back when America was just being formed, if we thought somebody had done something, we drag him into the streets. What? Are you okay, man? You're probably 50 years old. Hey, man. Hey, 30 years ago, it's not what they did. Okay. 30 years ago, they didn't arrest people and then say, you know what? I just think he did it, and we deserve a speedy trial. Bring him out into the streets. That's not what they did, man. Are you crazy? What's he talking about? I just want to, like it's a cinnamon bun. Oh, I would just like to, What are you talking about killing a guy before he's found guilty of a crime? Is that what you're talking about? I just want to, like he just tasted something so good, he just had to make it vocal for everybody at the table. Are you talking about ending someone's life in the streets before their trial has even occurred, before we even know if they're guilty or not? Is that what you're talking about? Well, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. And that's what you talked about with Andrew Colvett. That's amazing. That's incredible to know. This is what Andrew talks about. This is what Andrew talks about when he's on the phone with people. This is very weird. I'm gonna chalk it up to this guy. This guy seems deranged. Andrew doesn't even know what to say right now. Andrew's just like, why do I keep encountering people like this? They just keep making me look terrible. Did he just say that we were on the phone and that we were talking about killing Tyler Robinson in the streets before he was found guilty? Is that what this man just did to me? He's like, first Erica, then Blake, then Candace, now this guy. This guy doesn't even work with me. What is this? I'd be pissed too. I would have that same face on. I'd be like, bro, that's not what we talked about at all. We talked about all the questions you were going to ask, and this was going to be a softball thing. I just wish we could, just back in the day, we would just, is that what you do?
And for the team, and especially for Erica, with all these lies, and I don't want to delay, I want this damn sicko to be found guilty, and I wish we could take him out and do you know what in the street, because we used to do that to send a message. That
I don't even know if he's talking about violence. I have no idea what he's talking about there. We used to just take guys like this and just dip them in baby oil and give them the old Diddy Deluxe. You remember, Andrew, right? You remember at all those parties where we'd wear the masks? You remember? We dip them in baby oil. You remember the old Diddy Deluxe? You remember? We high-fived. You remember, right, Andrew? Andrew's just looking at him like, what are you saying right now? You're destroying my life. Anyway, guys, I just thought that was funny. I just thought that was funny. Absolutely ridiculous, you know? Just before he's guilty. He hasn't been found guilty or anything, but if I could, I'd drag him in the streets because, I don't know. Somebody told me that there's a mountain of evidence. Someone said that there was this massive mountain of evidence. I mean, it was just so huge, and it was just so many papers and files and just DNA all over this mountain. It was just this DNA, this caked in dry DNA all over this massive mountain of evidence. So I figured if there's that, then we could just, Are you insane? Absolutely. You watch people just come unraveled in this whole thing. Just unravel. So performative, so unraveled. Just losing his mind. Anyway, that's the clip, Lance. That right there is a clip. Let's move on. The president. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is what he said. He said Tuesday. Well, he said this on Easter. He said Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straits, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to what? Hey, man. Hey, I don't care if it's a joke or not. What are you doing? On Easter? On Easter? This is the reason why. I don't know if you know. I think it was like a month or so ago. He was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make it into heaven. He was, maybe this is why. Because you're just doing stuff like this all the time. You don't need to say this. This is crazy. Listen, there's no reason to say that. Okay? I don't care what kind of joke it is. It's Easter, man. You're the president of America. Come on. What are we talking about here? Jeez. I don't know. But a lot of people were upset about it because it was Easter. Look, even Balix Tones is like, not a good look on any day. It's the first comment. He's like, not a good look on any day. Someone else is like, he lost it. Someone else is like, I don't think it's him. I think he's gone and he was replaced months ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's how crazy it all seems. I mean, Balix Tones counting his $7,000 stacks is like, I can't support that type of stuff. No, I can't support it. Nope. Even him taking checks. Allegedly. Maybe, perhaps. Neither here nor there. I just, you know how I feel about Balix. But he says that Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, is pissed. She's the first one to comment on it. Barron comments on it afterwards. Here, let's check this out. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had this to say. Former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. On Easter morning, this is what the president posted. Everyone in his administration claims to be Christian, needs to fall to their knees and beg for forgiveness from God and stop worshiping the president and intervene in the madness. I know all of you and him, and he's gone nuts. And all of you are complicit. I'm not defending Iran, but honestly, let's be honest about all of this. The strait is closed because the U.S. and that place in the Middle East started an unprovoked war against Iran based on the same nuclear lies they've been telling for decades, and that any moment Iran will develop a nuclear weapon. You know who has nuclear weapons. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Guess which place she said has nuclear weapons. Okay, let's keep going here. I mean, is allegedly, I don't know. They're nice people over there. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I think if they do, it's only for our best interests, okay? And if they do have them, it's only so they could give us, it's only so they could give America some if America runs short. I think that's the only reason they would have them. I mean, why else? Why else would they have them? Don't be a bigot. Don't be a bigot. They are more than capable of defending themselves without the U.S. stepping in to fight their fights for them. The president threatening bomb plants and bridges and all this stuff. On Easter of all days, as we Christians should be reminded that the Son of God dies and rose from the grave. Yes, he did. He is risen. He is risen indeed. So that we can be forgiven once and for all of our sins. Jesus commanded us to love one another and forgive one another. The president is not Christian, and his words and actions should not be supported by Christians. Well, she was going in there. Yeah, that's how a lot of people felt. Barron even commented on it. He said, are still in that place where people are going to defend this as a normal post on Easter morning from an American president. It's a wild post. That's a wild post, you know? I kind of like how unhinged it is, but also it's Easter. Like while he was writing that, the wife and I and babies, we were in church like, yeah, she's due very soon. This week actually. Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, yes, he's risen. Yeah, he's risen. He's risen indeed. Okay, all right. So while we were doing that, he was like, open these straits or you will live in hell. Just watch. I'm not playing around. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Praise be to Allah. What? What are you doing? Oh, man, I love it. I just love it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Someone stepped in and commented on Barron's post. Dinesh. Leave it to Dinesh to not know how important Easter is, right? This post includes several, just to show you both sides, it includes several figures of speech. Okay, hyperbole and metaphor and irony, a little gem that is written to mystify the intellectual impoverished. He's basically like, oh, you don't get it, you're dumb. Hey, Dinesh. Okay, leave it to Dinesh D'Souza to not know how important Easter is, but it is. Of course, no one cares if it's a joke. No one cares if it's like, oh, well, you don't see what he's doing there. Come on, man. And then, of course, I wrote, of course, Dinesh doesn't know what Easter is. And thanks all the Christian and Catholic folks that don't like this post, just don't understand what he's saying. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. We all understand. We understand completely. It's just still not a thing that you should be saying on Easter, you know? A lot of people were upset about it. So, and yeah, they should be. They should be. That is not the thing. That is not. Listen, I didn't like him. You know, he was 194 years old. I don't remember. Even with all of the not knowing where he was or how to walk upstairs, you never saw Biden do anything like that on Easter. I think, what did he do on Easter? He was like, today's Trans National Visibility Day. He did like something like that. It seems like none of the presidents care about Easter. What's going on here? When are we gonna when we getting the president that cares about Easter? This is crazy. Absolutely ludicrous. I'm just saying. Ridiculous. You know? But I almost like how unhinged it is. You know? Almost. Everybody is doing something on Easter. Beautiful things on Easter, you know? All the Christian and Catholic folks. And he's telling an entire nation, you're going to be living in hell if you don't open up these effing straits. All right. Trust the plan. Just trust the plan, guys. Forget about what I said. Trust the plan. This is 5D chess. Okay? Maybe you're intellectually impoverished. You don't quite understand. You have to trust the plan, as they say. He's just playing 5D chess. You get it? No, come on. You guys, come on. Ye of little faith. Ye of little faith. Anyway, that's the clip, Lance. Let's move on. Dan Bongino, ladies and gentlemen. RoboCop. Lionel reposted this. I saw Project Constitution post it. Then I saw I like Lionel's little one-liners. Did you hear? Did you hear what this little boy just said? Okay. So let's play this really quick. I had no idea about this, so Dan's revealing this to all of us.
Knows that. I think I've told you the story way before Charlie was tragically murdered. My wife is friends with Andrew and was friends with Charlie because she handled all the schedule items. So Andrew would reach out to her, like they talked more than I did about events. We've known Andrew forever. Andrew and Charlie were like this. Anyone who knows Charlie knows that. And they were both tall and looked alike. Sometimes down the hall, Charlie had bigger hair, but sometimes my eyesight's not so great. I confuse the two. You're going to listen to him providing you facts and actual data points, or are you going to listen to others out there? I think I've told you this story.
Are we going to listen to you? You used to confuse Andrew Colvett and Charlie Kirk. No one can listen to you now. Why would you reveal that? That's a terrible thing. They were both tall and they had brown hair. They were both tall and they had brown hair, and often I'd look at them and be like, oh, who is that? Who is that down there? Were you deputy director? Oh my God. One of them was cross-eyed and one of them couldn't see. That's incredible. The director's cross-eyed and he's like, I can't see. Hold on. I have honey all over my face. I can't really see. I'm a little cross-eyed. And the other guy was like, I can't see either, Cash. I don't know. I think that's Charlie Kirk. Person walks up. It's Barack Obama, you know. How you doing, Mr. Kirk? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, young man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with those two men. They called me Mr. Kirk. I'm black and my hair is gray. What's going on? You know? But that's not the thing to focus on. The thing to focus on is that his wife used to handle all the scheduling items, I believe he said. That's weird. So Elizabeth would handle, look at me writing like I'm not going to write this down. Elizabeth, like I'm important, I'm going to start writing things down. Elizabeth would handle the events. So his wife would handle the scheduling. I was not aware of that. I wonder what she was doing September 9th, September 10th, or did she schedule that event? Was she doing it even then? Because this is a recent clip. This is not like an old clip that's being found. This is like from one of his very recent shows. So his wife was handling the scheduling when Charlie went to UVU. That's weird. That means his wife has some information. Yeah, not saying she did anything, but she definitely has information of how that whole UVU thing happened. She would know that. Between her and Elizabeth, they would know a lot about what happened that day or how Charlie even got to that point, right? Very, very weird stuff. But Dan doesn't have anything to do with anything like that, you know. Dan's
Right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
I agree. I agree. I have a wife. I have kids, just like Dan, and that is one of the things that's close to my heart. It's closest to my heart. Beyond my wife, beyond my kids, you know, because you can always have more kids, but that place in the Middle East, defense of it, that's the thing that's near and dear to my heart as well. So I agree with Dan there. I agree. So his wife, that's just like a counter. That doesn't even have anything to do with anything. But let's get back to it. His wife had something to do with scheduling the UVU event alongside Elizabeth. So she had to be working with Elizabeth. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because Elizabeth would handle actually putting the events together in the sense of, okay, UVU, we're going to be here, we're going to do this, Charlie can be here for this long, he can do a Q&A, he can do this, he can do that, then he has to go hard out at this time, blah, 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 all of that. So then his wife would have to work closely. If they're doing the scheduling, that's the one person who would be above Dan's wife, would be Elizabeth. Very interesting. Didn't know that. I'm sure that has nothing to do with why he's going so hard towards this whole thing. Nothing to do with it. I mean, you know, look at this guy. This guy's an honest guy. Look at his face. You know? You ever seen a more honest face? Huh? Eyes are black. Why are his eyes black? You know? It's fine. Shark eyes, gerbil eyes. It's fine. It's completely fine. Anyway, let's keep on going here. That's the clip, Lance. Dan Bongino, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Bongino. And then we get to the Rogan stuff. Now, I made sure to make a cut. There's Rogan right there. A lot of you guys think this is Aleister Crowley. It is not. It is the powerful and great Joe Rogan. Okay? A lot of you think this is mishmash and nonsense. This is actually Anthony Bourdain with a tweet across his eyes. The last tweet he ever made about a certain lady. But anyway, Joe Rogan. I'm commenting on Joe Rogan over the weekend. I'm talking about how people were siding with Theo over Joe. They don't like the fact that Joe said, hey, you must be crazy. I know the full context. I watched the whole episode. I know Theo was talking about getting off of certain things, and Joe brings that up and says, you need to get off of these meds of sorts. So I knew that whole thing. My point was, it doesn't matter if people, it doesn't matter if they were talking about it before. What matters is that it's the biggest podcast in the world. He's fully aware of how big it is. He knows that, and I'm talking about Joe. He knows how big it is, and he knows that when Theo says something as real as what he said, that I played in that video where he's going off about the Middle East and the politicians and the whole world, and he says it's like Satan is among us, the things that we're allowing. He knows that if you say, oh, you're crazy, you're losing your mind. You know, he's not like me where I get into this like theatric mode. He's not like Tim Dillon where he gets into this theatric mode. He just says it. He says it deadpan. It's like, so what do you think people take that as? Not everybody goes, oh, well, they're just doing a bit. Not everybody does that. Not everybody knows about doing a bit. They just hear words. They're just listening to you talk. They think you're having a conversation. You're in a podcast. Theo's saying something very real. So they're not going to think that a grown man, 58 years old, is going to make some big joke. They don't think that. A lot of people. Not everybody, but a lot of people. So a lot of people were upset with Joe. They were like, Theo is not crazy. This is absolute nonsense. That's aside the point. That was one video that I did over the weekend. The other video I did was the fact that Joe told two stories, right? I'm not going to play the clips. I'm not going to go into all that. But there's one story where I did a video on it where Joe actually figures out that Charlie has passed away live while he's sitting with Charlie Sheen. Now, he says, hey, this just happened. This is crazy. We have to talk about this. Somber moment between the two. They start talking about how somebody with an opposite opinion of Charlie did this. I pointed out the fact that there's no way they could have known at that time because it wasn't even known if Charlie had passed away or not. They figure out that news as they're talking. But somehow they're pushing this Jack Posobiec style thing of a leftist did this and could you believe it? And just because he had a difference of opinion than other people. And it was just a narrative that couldn't possibly, it wasn't even out there yet. It wasn't out there yet. Nobody knew what had happened. Like I said in the video, George Zinn still had his pants down around his ankles. The USA guy was just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. The maroon shirt boys had just ran off in every direction, right? Terry hadn't even gotten the SD cards yet. Terry was just like, I gotta get my hands on these SD cards. He hadn't even done it yet. There was no way to know what happened. But yet he was pushing that narrative. I found that very weird. And then there was another story where he was with Theo Von and he explained, hey, you know, I was in Utah the time when this happened. I was in the mountains hunting. I was hunting elk in the mountains, which makes sense. Elk season runs, you know, just up until September 17th, I believe, in Utah. So, you know, makes sense. But he makes sure, and then everybody was like, what's going on here? How is he telling two stories about Charlie Kirk this way? Now, Joe Rogan rarely, as you see I write right here, rarely comments on anything about himself. Usually doesn't care. And I will add, if he does address it, he addresses it on the show. He doesn't care to make a tweet about it or anything like that. You know why? Because he says he doesn't read anything about himself. He doesn't read any messages. But this, he felt a need to comment on. So he actually did say something here. Okay? And this is the clip where, you know, it says it, blah, blah, blah. He says, honestly, I just remembered it wrong. I was elk hunting when Jimmy Kimmel was getting people angry at him for joking about what happened to Charlie and blaming it on MAGA. I would never lie about that. I just had a dumb memory moment. Which makes sense. I mean, I often confuse Jimmy Kimmel crying with Charlie Kirk dying. It happens so often, you wouldn't even believe it. You wouldn't even believe it. Sometimes my wife will just find me and I'm sobbing and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I can't believe Jimmy Kimmel's gone. And she goes, do you mean Charlie Kirk? And I go, yeah, sorry, I mean Charlie Kirk. That happens all the time. You wouldn't believe how often that happens. You wouldn't believe it. It's crazy. And sometimes I turn on the TV and I see Jimmy Kimmel. I'm like, oh my God, he's alive. Oh. And my wife has to look at me and say, hey, just so you know, that's Jimmy Kimmel. That's not Charlie Kirk. And I go, oh my God, why'd you do that to me? And I'm upset for the rest of the night. Everybody knows that. They look so similar. They hold very, very similar ideas. They do. Jimmy Kimmel and Charlie, they're basically the same guy. Ask Dan Bongino. If Dan Bongino saw them both far away in a hallway, he wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. He wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But Dan is like Mr. Magoo. Just walks up to Jimmy Kimmel. How you doing, Charlie? It's been a long time. How you doing, man? You doing good? You're looking good. To Jimmy Kimmel. It was a weird thing. But this is what he said, right? I'm going to go with it. Somebody asked me if I'm going to take the picture. Someone said in the comments of that video, they said, I'm going to have a black spot like Barron has a black spot. Oh my gosh. Should I do that? Guys? Come on. I don't like to change things. Like, I have brand new headphones right here. I'm still using the raggedy ones that are like almost 10 years old. My wife bought these for me like in Christmas. I still haven't used them. I like to just hold on to things. I like I have a couch here. It's just an old couch, and I'm like, I like my old couch. I don't like to change things. I don't know. I could. There's artists out there that would make me art in a second. I'm just like, I get emotion. I get sentiment. I get attached to inanimate objects. You know, I get attached to. Look, I still have my camera. This is the first camera I ever had. Why is it sitting on my desk? I don't know. I love it. Maybe it is time for a new picture. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Candace Owens with her hair pulled back, just sitting there, just very angry looking, scowling like this. But that is what he said about the whole thing. Theo Von even jumped in for him, and he was like, this is not fair, what everybody's doing to Joe, because of what he said about, Theo being crazy. And, a lot of people were commenting on how this is the moment where Theo surpassed Joe in terms of, like, public love, right? People love Theo. And it's not just because of what he's saying. He's been really funny, really, really funny. And then he's had these really deep moments, tearful moments on his podcast where he's connected with his audience in just like such a crazy way. And now he's in this place where he's like, I'm not going to be silent about what's going on. Yes, I've had pictures with Ivanka and Jared Kushner. Yes, I have those pictures with them. Yes, I've hung out with them. Yes, I interviewed the now president. Yes, I interviewed the now VP. But I'm not going to stay silent about what's going on at all. And in that episode, when they sat together, he was not silent about that stuff. And you could see that there were moments where Joe was getting uncomfortable because Theo was bringing up some wild stuff. He's talking about Palantir. Peter Thiel is a friend of Joe's. He's bringing up Palantir. He's bringing up all this stuff. He's not staying quiet about it. He's being very vocal about it. And he's not sitting on the fence about it. He's letting people know exactly where he stands on this whole thing. So when people saw everything they saw in that episode, the whole public opinion realm was all on Theo's side. I'll say 95% on Theo's side. They loved what he was saying. They love that he's speaking up the way he is, and they love how genuine he is. He's become the new everyday man. Joe, for a long time, was the everyday man in his podcast. You talk about, being a loser when he was young and, coming up and, becoming stronger and, becoming a fighter and, having all the pitfalls. But now Theo just seems a little more everyday man. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the comments and whatnot that agree with this. I mean, it's just what it is. So a lot of people were upset. Yeah, and listen, I'm just going to call it out the way it is. There's Hollywood, right? There's people in LA right now who are like towing the line because they want to be in a movie. They want to get their script bought by this company. They want to be in the in crowd. They want to work. They don't want their careers to end. They want to work. So they say and do whatever they have to. There is this same type of realm of people, not around just Joe Rogan, but around any opportunities, right? And Joe is one of those people, almost like the new Hollywood, almost. It's like they want to be in his good graces because they want to be on the podcast. They want to get the big Rogan bump that occurs when you're on his podcast. It lives forever in this monumental, giant podcast, this huge library of big, long interviews that have changed people's lives, that have made people's careers. Jordan Peterson, David Goggins, many others. But I'm not falling for it. I see it. So I like this lady. I like what she's had to say about certain things. But right away, she's like, all right, people need to back off Joe Rogan. This is ungrateful. This kind of reaction is ungrateful D-head behavior. The man has been consistent for years, saying what he thinks when most people wouldn't dare, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into the whole thing because she likes to. She didn't actually write that long. Okay, we'll go into it a little bit. Why not? You don't get to benefit from that for so long and then turn on him the moment he says something you don't like or disapprove of. That's the thing that you don't get to tell people. They actually do get to do that if they want to do that. Should they do that? Is it moral to do that? You can decide that for yourself on a case-by-case basis, but that is what they get to do. They get to go, I don't like this. They get to go, don't like. They get to watch the full thing, not watch the full thing. They get to click off. They get to watch the whole thing. Or they love somebody so much that they just click their playlist, put it on mute aside from their other stuff, or they play it all day while they're homeschooling their kids. They get to do whatever they want to do. So this is a grandstanding thing. Now, I know this is an independent person, and she said a lot of really good things, but she's doing the same type of grandstanding. She is just virtue signaling towards Joe Rogan, which is why Joe Rogan is tagged. Joe Rogan doesn't need to see this. If you really wanted to just say it about Joe Rogan and how great he is, you don't need to tag him in what he's saying at all, right? That doesn't make any sense to do, right? But you're making sure to because you want him to know what you have to say, which is great. But also, you want to be on the podcast, obviously. Yes, Theo was right. Joe was wrong in that instance. That's fine. People are allowed to be wrong. But the way you immediately jump to tearing him down, calling him compromised, is ungrateful. It shows a lack of perspective and, honestly, a lack of character. Now, this is where she's wrong. Because the people, and trust me, Joe Rogan connoisseur here, the people who are saying they think Joe's compromised, they've literally, trust me, I know, they've been saying it for years. There are some people who've been saying this for 10 years, 15 years even. People have been saying this for a really long time. So the people you're seeing say that have been thinking it and saying it for a very long time. Just because you're now seeing it and you see an opportunity to defend Joe and tag him in your defense so he can see you defending him, that's your thing altogether. But the people who have been saying this, they've been saying it for a long time. I know because every time I've been backing Joe, which has been for a long time, years in fact, people would always tell me, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? This guy's compromised. CIA this and, Aleister Crowley that and all sorts of things. Satan sending me pictures of him at the Satanist wedding and all sorts of stuff. Believe me, I have seen everything. So, to just take this, to just see this in an instant, in 24 hours, and make your decision that those people lack perspective and lack character. Like, she probably doesn't even understand that most of those people have probably been watching Joe since the beginning, like I have. So just something to think about there. Hopefully she sees it. I'm not going to tag her in this because I don't really care if she sees it, but I'm just saying. Joe has been spending years informing, entertaining, giving people a platform, different ideas. Theo was even, before Theo was even widely known. I love Theo. He's amazing. But you shouldn't erase what Joe has done, etc., etc. And you listen. And then she's saying, have some patience, effing relax, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, have some perspective, and more importantly, stop acting ungrateful. That's crazy. I always say, we who make videos are normal people. You might listen to me while you're homeschooling your kids. That person always stands out to me, who says that about me. You might listen to me on your commute. And you could be grateful for that. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, don't be ungrateful. Hey, hey, hit the like button. Don't be ungrateful. I'm not going to start saying that. I think that's a wild thing to say. Because you can say that about Candace Owens. Why doesn't anybody say that about Candace? Candace has been talking about XYZ and this and that, and she's gone from the left to the right. Why don't we get to look at everybody and say, don't be ungrateful. Look at all she's done. Look at all she said. Look at how much she stood up. We don't get to say that with Candace. I don't think you get to say that with people who just make videos. YouTubers, right? You don't get to say that. So it was a ignorant statement by someone who I think is not as tuned in to what Joe has been doing as she thinks. Again, this is somebody who is deep in the audience of JRE. Not saying that he is compromised or anything like that, but most of the people who are saying it, they're saying it for a reason, They're not just watching the one thing with Theo and just using that. It's been a few things. It's been a few things. I have dozens of videos, playing him talking about, Jesus becoming AI and, AI should run the government and it should be the president and we should just bow down to that. And, it's pretty crazy because it's like Sam Altman, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all people who are friends of his who are on the show, all have, huge stake in AI. And you're basically saying that they should run the world and they should be president. It's a weird thing. So I've called out this type of stuff many, many times, but, oh, geez, too much air. I'm taking in too much air, letting out too much hot air, as a reaction. But yeah, a lot of people were upset, and a lot of people were upset at Theo, right? He has this picture. He has multiple pictures with Ivanka and Jared. And I just said, I'm like, this is him getting tricked in real time. That's why he's pissed now, obviously. Stop acting like you've never been hoodwinked before. Many people are acting like they've never been hoodwinked. You already know me. I'm the hoodwink general. I've been hoodwinked too many times. I've talked about it. At least 10 different times been hoodwinked. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, that's the whole Joe Rogan saga that's going on. This is Theo Von ranting about what was going on, and here, I just want to blank out the F word and whatnot. But
it's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slap kids. All of our fucking goes to Israel and get to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out, and it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us, and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going? I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fuck.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here. It's all just a cat and mouse.
So that was the main statement that people didn't like. You know, saying that he's losing his mind. And I've seen this before, being somebody, again, who's been deep into the Joe Rogan sphere of things. He did the same thing with Eddie Bravo. I even did an interview with Eddie Bravo. I said, hey, is there like somebody telling you not to be on the show anymore? Is Joe like not having you on the show? And Eddie made it clear. He said, if you don't see me on the show, it's because I don't want to be on the show. He's like, I am done with that. Like, he didn't say he's done with Joe, but he was just like, they shout me down. They don't want to hear what I have to say. And it wasn't like a hate thing whatsoever, but he was just like, if I'm not on there, I don't want to be on there. That's why you're not seeing me on there. So we will likely see something similar start to develop with Theo Von, I would think. You can only be called crazy as a joke so many times when you're saying real stuff and you're really trying to get stuff out to people before you just go, okay, maybe I don't need to do that. Right. Anyway. That's the clip, Lance. Let's keep on going here. And it is crazy that Theo has so many pictures and whatnot with Ivanka and Jared. It is very, very interesting that they really courted him. They took him out to Miami. They took him around town. They really friended that guy up. And after it was all said and done, he went back to Tennessee and he became really good friends with Candace. Really good friends with Candace. In fact, he just made a post today. His Easter weekend, he spent it with Candace, Brett Cooper, and a bunch of their friends. So that's where he's at with it. So I'm glad. I'm glad that he went from that to being in a place where nobody called him crazy whatsoever and probably supported every idea that he was putting forth. I think Theo deserves that. I think he really deserves that. Can't wait to see what he turns into, man. I think he's turning into something. You know, I think I said it years ago. I hope I put it in a post or something. Years ago, I said Theo Von surpasses Joe Rogan as the #1 podcast. And I think that will happen. I think that's going to happen in the next, especially if Theo keeps talking about what he's talking about. Oh, just to talk about Theo again. I guess that's not the clip, Lance. Keep on going here. But just to talk about, Theo Von had an interview with Jake Paul. And Jake Paul was doing a little bit, it seemed like a temperature check. It seemed like, it kind of seemed like this weird, there's a very weird energy. They were both very awkward. And he actually brought up Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk and what he thinks Erica's role was in everything. And Jake Paul like pauses because he just had the president say that he's going to be in politics. And I don't think the president says that for no reason. And he pauses and he goes, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of things. This is Jake Paul. He goes, there's a lot of things I'll talk about. He's like, but I'm not going to talk about Charlie Kirk. Like, he just won't talk about. He's like, no, I won't talk about this thing you're trying to get me to talk about. And Theo's just like, okay, you know, it's just on the list of things. And, you know, Theo's trying to get him to talk about some real stuff. And Jake is just like refusing at all turns, just refusing. It was actually really funny. So a little bit of a temperature check. I think that the elite sends certain people to do temperature checks on you. I think when Charlie Kirk sat down with Ben Shapiro, if you notice their body language and what they were doing, it was a temperature check. It was a temperature check. And Charlie was letting Ben know, I'm all the way up on the thermometer. I'm up to here on the thermometer. What up? What do you got to say about that? And then September 10th came, right? Anyway, that's the clip. Let's keep on going here. Shout out to Theo Von, friend of the show, even though he gave me a copyright strike. It's all good. It's all good. Somebody said Gary is a Fed propagandist. Then Gary's just talking about his time as a, quote unquote fed. Here, listen to this.
Were you a unit chief for, well, it's down in the description, my bio. I worked for the Department of State Diplomatic Security, and I ran a training program. So that's what I did, bud. And then after that, I left and I was doing security work at embassies and consulates. What federal...
I think listen, maybe to, I don't want to say a regular person, but to people like us, when you hear that, you don't kind of go, oh, well, that's all it was. Cool. Just training. Because in my mind, right away, I hear that, like I hear consonants, I hear all that stuff he just said, and I go, oh, so you are so in it. You were so ingrained in it, right? You're meeting with people of all levels for sure, especially within training, right? You're that person that everybody has to come to eventually. Maybe not directors of agencies and whatnot, but pretty much everybody has to come to, or at least somebody who's on a certain level who might go up a level. But either way, all these guys who are in these federal agencies, bureaus, they know that you're in podcasting. We're trying to say that you couldn't be tapped. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying in that position that he couldn't be tapped, right? I love playing Fleet's videos. I love what Fleet does. But I know Fleet, right? Like I talk to Fleet. I want to work with Fleet. If Fleet came to me and was like, I really, can you please play this video? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, it's a video of, I'm just making fun. It's Baron Coleman. He's making fun of Gary. I'd be like, yeah, what are you talking about? Of course I'm going to play that for you. But she could tap me and be like, hey, could you please? You think nobody could tap him after they build this friendship up in training? There's a special friendship that comes from one man training another. There's a friendship that develops. You think none of them can tap him and say, hey, man, we saw that you're in podcasting. There might be an opportunity for you. Would you be into that? Yeah, sure. It'd be a real opportunity to serve the country. Would you be into that? Yeah, sure. Not saying that's what happened. But do we think it's impossible? I don't know that I think that's impossible. So, very interesting from Gary. Now, this is actually posted just to let you know where it's from. I like to let you know where things are from. This guy does not like Gary. As you can see by what he's written here, he does not like Gary. In fact, I'm positive that this guy, actually, maybe it was Jason Goodman. Jason Goodman's a little like, but, they did show that there was a point where Gary was taking donations, but then they looked into whether or not he could actually, again, this is all alleged. This is just based on the work that I saw with these guys. They were saying, based on what they see in the paperwork, that his ability, I'm just saying it in layman's terms, his ability to take donations had expired. So they're like, why does he still have his donation page up? Within an hour of them posting this, I think it was him and Jason Goodman. I think they were both posting about it or reposting each other. Within an hour of them posting, he took the donation page down. Now, I will say, not even talking about Gary. Gary's a great guy. Friend of the show, descendant of Kandahar Giants. I don't know if you heard that. Plus, he's a redhead, and I don't know if you guys have heard, every single redhead is black. So, power to Gary. Aside from Gary, if I had something set up, if I needed to take donations, let me see here. Somebody said I should replace... I have to show this to you guys. Someone said I should... Oh, geez. Someone says I should replace the Joe Rogan picture with a picture of Candace going like this. And it says, F you, Ben Shapiro, and the horse that you rode in on. Maybe. That's a maybe. I could do that. Nice black and white. I might do that. But aside from Gary, if you needed to take funds, this has nothing to do with Gary. But imagine you needed to take funds from places, but you couldn't have it be seen as anything, or the people who sent it to you couldn't be identified. The organization couldn't be identified. Well, then you take it in the form of donations, because people don't have the right to look in to who's donating to you. They don't have the right to see who the donators are, which is why we can't really see who donates to Turning Point. If we could, I'm sure we would, we'd all be like, wow, told you so. But Yeah, especially if we saw who was donating before Charlie passed and who was donating after Charlie passed. I'm sure we'd be like, "Oh, I told you so." But we can't see that. You know, there's a thing with that. You know, your Project Veritas, we couldn't see who was donating, but there's a bunch of weirdness that happened. I'm just saying that if you have the ability to take donations, anybody could be giving you funds, and none of us could ever know. It would be a pretty smart way of doing it. Not saying that's what Gary's doing. Gary's not. You think Gary's smart enough to do that? You think what I'm just spitting out right there, you think Gary's smart enough to do that? Gary's not smart enough to do that. Ain't no way. Ain't no way Gary's smart enough to do that. Anyway, that's the clip, Lance. Gary, Paramount Tactical, friend of the show. Keep on going here, guys. Nobody, and I mean nobody, do not tag Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro in any of this. Anything you see of Kanye West, I mean, this is so epic. I might just replace Joe's picture with this. This is crazy. This is nuts what was going on here. Kanye West makes a huge comeback. Huge comeback. Crazy comeback. He does a show in LA. It is sold out. I think he did 2 or something like that. Either way, sold out. 80,000 people in the audience. I mean, these are just like, this is not a graphic picture. This is what the set looked like. He was on a world. There's this thing above him. I don't even know what symbolism this is. And then all of a sudden, there's all these people, and this goes all the way around. It was the craziest set design I have ever seen. I mean, shout out to that rabbi that he apologized to. Shout out to him. Would any of it be possible without that guy? I mean, none of them wanted to do it. None of them wanted to take a meeting with Kanye. That one guy was like, I'll sit down with Kanye. Let's see. I'm just saying, would it be possible without that one guy? I don't know. I mean, look, would it be possible? I mean, this guy's the real, this guy made it happen. I'm just saying. I love Kanye. But we know what happened before this crazy thing happened. I'm just saying. And then it looked like this. I mean, this is crazy. The comeback that he had. I just had to talk about it. I had to talk about it because the visuals alone. This is real. This is not doctored. We're talking, look, this is all people. All people. And it goes just all around him like that. It's crazy. I mean, just the most remarkable thing I've ever seen. It was a 3-hour show. Everybody said there was no boring parts whatsoever. He even did a Backstreet Boy remix. What? He made me bop my head to the Backstreet Boys. And then he brought Lauryn Hill out and his daughter? What? It was the craziest thing you've ever seen. I mean, check this out. Check this out. This is a stage, guys. Okay? This is not a small world. He's on a harness. You can't see it here. You can't see it. There's a little harness that he has to be attached to at all times. He can't even move around all that much because he'll slide down the world and die. It's crazy. It's a nutty. I mean, this is just insane. Kanye, ladies and gentlemen. Those are people all around him. I mean, look at it. There's just people everywhere. Nuts. People were in mosh pits. They were mosh pitting to all of the lights. What? All of the lights. What? Why? They were. I'm not making that up. It's not a joke. They were. Makes no sense at all. That's what they were doing. Just saying. He brought Lauryn Hill on the stage. That's Lauryn Hill. He had Lauryn Hill sing that song, It All Falls Down. I mean, it was just, this whole thing was nuts. Then the Backstreet Boys came out. Sorry, the Backstreet Boys didn't come out. The song started to play. Just a wild thing. Candace talked about this. She even commented on this right here. You can see Candace is like, I can't explain it, but Ye defeated Hollywood. Bringing Lauryn Hill back and putting on a show like this is exactly why he is so inspirational. Forever my brother. Even Candace was in awe of this whole thing. And of course, he did have to apologize to that one guy, that nice guy. But he is not owned anymore. That's the thing. All those contracts, what we call slave contracts, those are all gone. Those are done now. He doesn't have to bow down to that in perpetuity that they put in all the contracts with these young men, usually young men of color, usually young men of poverty. Because even if you're white, Eminem wasn't like, oh, I come from this great family. Eminem was poor. Multiple white rappers and artists in general. Jewel, think about Jewel. You ever heard Jewel's story? The singer Jewel? You ever heard her story? It's crazy. So they don't come from these great backgrounds, and then they get put into these contracts where it says in perpetuity, and they don't know what that means. And the lawyer that they have is a lawyer that's appointed to them by the record label. So the next thing you know, they're in a 360 deal, and 360 means we get 360 degrees of everything that you own, everything that you do. Whether it's a commercial or it's a merch or it's this or it's that, we own a piece of it forever. It's crazy. Sometimes they'll even own your name. That's what they did to Miley Cyrus. They'll take your name and say, that's ours now. Sorry. That's the type of thing he was standing up to. That's why Candace is saying that he defeated Hollywood. Because now he's actually doing this. I mean, this is like some Mel Gibson type stuff. Like, people don't realize Mel Gibson, when he makes a movie, there's no strings attached anymore. He made himself so radioactive, nobody wanted to do any deals with him. He had enough money, and he started putting things together. So when he makes a movie, it's not the same type of ownership that they usually have on these celebrities. It's different. That's what Kanye has now. So, very interesting to see this whole thing pop off. Did not think I'd ever see something like this. I mean, you remember the song that he made, right? There was a certain song that he made which was really crazy. He bounced back from that song. That's tremendous. I have to say. It's tremendous. And apparently Pepsi has officially withdrawn its sponsorship of the Wireless Festival after Ye announced as headliner. So now they're trying to do the whole squeeze thing through the advertisers. We've seen this game played before, over and over and over again. This is what they try to do. It's what they try to do. I just found that interesting because I always like to talk about Hollywood and the chains that they put on people. It's gross. I make the joke about them getting dipped in baby oil, but it's not a joke. Diddy had 100, what was it, 100? He had 1,000 bottles of baby oil. If he wasn't dipping people in it, what was he doing? I'm just saying, what are we talking about here? It's a real thing. They really do that to you. They really do take your name. They really do attach themselves to your soul and even take your soul. It's not an analogy when people say that. Selling your soul. It's not an analogy. And so many people think it's not yours to sell. If you go into an occult ritual where that's what you're giving up, there's some things that happen with that. You don't just get to walk away with that scot-free like so many people think. You think you're just going to pass away and it's just going to be like, well, you just go up to heaven? Those occultists don't play. They don't play around with that type of stuff. Just saying. It's a real thing. So, stay away from baby oil. That's all I can say. Slip and slides. Someone said slip and slides. You see what I mean? Even if you're in a slip and slide, you get dipped. You're dipped. You do a slip and slide. Shoo, shoo. You spin to your back real quick. You stand up. That's it. That's it. There's no firm ground for you to attach to anymore. Diddy has a lot of marble around his mansions. Baby oil and marble? Let me tell you something. There's only one thing you can do once you've done a slip and slide in baby oil and now you're on a marble floor, and that's lay on your stomach. That's right. That's lay on your stomach because you ain't getting up. You ain't getting up. How you getting up? You got baby oil between your toes, buddy. You ain't standing up for nothing. Not even if someone tried to help you up. You couldn't stay up for a second. All you can do is lay on your stomach. And Diddy's a freak. You could lay on your back too. He doesn't care. Oh, it's dastardly. It's dastardly what they're willing to do to you. Are you kidding me? Anyway. Those are the conversations I get into. I get into these conversations no matter what. It doesn't take a podcast for me to start talking about this stuff. I talk about it all the time. I was talking with my buddy. He has me on speaker. I can hear his wife in the background. She's like, how does he know all this? I'm like, this is all I talk about and think about every day outside of prayer and my wife and my children, of course. You know, absolutely ridiculous. Let me just see if anything developed. People are already reposting things. I just wanted to see if anything developed with Candace. Nothing developed yet. Nothing. Oh, there was one thing. I will bookmark that. I'll make sure. Oh, there you go. Tim Dillon going at Candace. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh, so Theo Von went on Joe Rogan, expressed his frustrations about how the world is controlled by Satanists. We're giving all our money to that place in the Middle East. We're all doom and gloom. 1 week later, posts pictures and says he's thankful for his friends like Candace. Makes sense now. Choose your friends wisely. Oh, see? Now they're going to be attacking Theo. Let me show you that. Let me show you that, ladies and gentlemen. Before we jump over to the, before we jump over to the other stuff. Let's see here. Make sure that I have this for you. Let's check this out really quick. Now they're going to be going at Theo like this. This is going to be a thing. They're going to do this for a while. You know, Bren absolutely despises Candace. He's like one of those accounts that anytime there's a coordinated thing, you know, he's always in it somehow. Don't know. Connecting, reconnecting, reattempt, 0 frames. We're in the yellow. We're in the green. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Bren, this loser. So Theo Von went on Joe Rogan to express his frustrations, etc., etc. World's run by Satanists, giving all the money to a place in the Middle East. And, of course, they're showing Theo Von's post. This is one of the pictures he has. It's Brett Cooper. Look at them. Look how they're dressed. Wow. Like, I find that so impressive. And how tall is Brett Cooper? What are we talking about? 5'11"? She's 6 foot? I didn't know that. I'm just saying. People say she looks like Ben Shapiro. There's no way she does. Towering over Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro would be like right about there if he walked into this frame right now. Brett Cooper is a full 3.5 feet taller than Ben Shapiro. I didn't know that. Wow. Anyway, this is Theo's post where he says he's grateful I got to spend Easter with my friends. Thank you, God, for filling my day with so many wonderful people. Thank you for giving me a place to bring parts of me that feel broken. Good for him, man. Good for him. You know? It's so funny. Look at this guy. Look at this loser. I live outside of Nashville. How come nobody invited me? Like, you're a shill. What are you talking about? No one's inviting you. That's like Gary wondering why he wasn't invited. You know? What are you talking about? Look at the post. This is under his own post. I like Theo Von. Candace is corrupting. It's absolutely amazing. Candace is corrupting. Somebody sent me a message about Theo Von. They said that they hang out with him, that like he's a friend of a friend, and they're like, Candace is not influencing him. You don't know that. And I think she is. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to talk with somebody and them not look at you and call you crazy. You know what I mean? I have conversations with people like that all the time where they're like, I know you're not going to call me crazy. So they want to have this conversation with me. And that's how it should be. You should have a bunch of friends who are not going to call you nuts because of the thing you want to talk about or because of the thing that you think. And I think that Theo has that in someone like Candace and in someone like Brett Cooper. So good for him. Now, let me, and that's the clip, Lance, I think. I don't know. Oh, yeah, restart to here. Click in, click out. Go back in, go back out. That's how it works. You got to click in, click out. That's all. Yeah, I thought something like that would happen. I just saw it, and I just wanted to make sure we didn't lose too many frames on you guys. I don't want to get all wonky and stuff. Take Rogan down. He's a sellout. This is not Dance Monkey Dance, okay? This is not what you have here. You don't have Dance Monkey Dance here. You know? Let me see. Look at that. Look at that. How about that? It's stuck. It's like Velcroed on or something like that. I don't know. My wife handles all that stuff. You think I can just knock it down? Boom. Nope. Can't knock it down. Anyway, let's keep going here. Ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see. We'll see what the picture becomes one day. You know? Maybe it'll be a different Joe Rogan picture. Who knows? But let's keep going here. Oh, there was one thing with Tim Dillon. Let's just see what Tim Dillon has to say really, really quick. Jump into the bookmarks here. Not Tim Dillon, sorry. Tim Pool, either way, you cut it. There is a massive effort to destroy the United States. And this is him commenting on Candace, because Candace ended up saying this. You know, she's just saying Congress needs to have a remove the Mad King, et cetera, et cetera. All lives depend upon countries realizing that Trump is deeply unwell and surrounded by religious fanatics who have convinced him that he is a messiah. He is in uncharted territory. Leaders worldwide need to act accordingly. So she's really, really calling out the administration. That's where she's at with it right now. Tim Pool thinks that she is trying to destroy America because of what she's saying. She thinks the opposite. I think Tim Pool is a silly, silly man. And if he is 6 foot, I will be shocked, just shocked. Anyway, let's see what else she has to say here. What are we talking about here? The more that is coming out about this pilot rescue, it looks like a massive disaster of a failed operation the Pentagon is lying about. It had nothing to do with rescuing a general. Independent journalists need to prod this Top Gun narrative. This may explain why the president was enraged on Easter, demanding an end to the satellite imagery. That could be it. That could be it. Like I said, Candace gets the itch just like we all do, ladies and gentlemen. She wants to post just as much as we want to see her post. So there will be a bunch. I'll update you more as it comes. But now let's get into some other stuff here with the administration. Now, Bondi's out, and I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing. Nothing better than getting rid of Bondi. I made the joke that she might not actually be fired because she might have put all the paperwork on her desk and now it is all just evaporated. So she's just like, I'm sorry. It was on my desk. It was here and I was going to leave. But then all of a sudden, I don't know, I came back and it was gone. There were so many papers on my desk here. Now they're all gone. I don't know. I guess I'll just start Monday. So she might be at work right now. Who knows? But she's out. She's gone. But there's more to the story. Apparently, there's a bunch going on in the administration. James Lee says next comes a pardon for her. She's going to need one. I wonder if that's actually true. I wonder if she's actually going to need a pardon. If so, maybe for what, you might ask? I would say for the lack of transparency when it came to you know, the JE documents. I think that might be a thing that she may need a pardon for, depending on, you know, if they classify anything she said as perjury when she was on the stand. I think that's a big reason why she was saying nonsensical things like the Dow, because it's like you can't point. Maybe if you watch the whole thing, you can point to some things where she maybe perjures herself. But the main headline was like, the Dow is up, and I don't know why you're laughing. That was the main thing everybody pointed at. So maybe she rescued herself by acting absolutely ridiculous in that whole thing. I don't know. But she's out. This is 100% real. But it goes further than that. Okay? It's funny because, you know, Pam Bondi's so great, that's why I'm firing her. That was literally his explanation, which is really weird to me. So he said, Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my attorney general over the past year. Adding that she's going to transition to a new job in the private sector. Isn't that exactly what you don't want? I thought that was a thing that nobody wanted, that you would have access to all this information and then right away you would go to the private sector. Isn't there a thing that's supposed to stop them from doing that right away? I think somebody wanted to put that in play where it was like, I think it was him. I think it was I got hoodwinked. So I think it was him. He was like, you know what needs to happen when these people are in these positions? They need to have a clause that makes it so it's like 7 years before they can take a job in the private sector. That way, all the classified information, or in general, just sensitive information that they have access to, is no longer hot enough that some private sector wants them. You know what I mean? I'm not finding the words. It's not pertinent anymore. It's not the hot information that's needed anymore. So that's what's happening with Pam. But people have speculated that possibly this week, possibly, don't know if this is true. I've heard people who have commented and said multiple sources that are saying Kash Patel might be out next. So that would be incredible, because the amount of honey that they will have to clean out of those chairs and out of those carpets and out of the headquarters will just be absolutely wild. Okay? And I hope they don't get rid of his sensation, country music sensation girlfriend. I hope they keep her. I hope they keep her as deputy, and then they put a new director in. But don't get rid of her, because she's loyal to only America and no other place. Okay? Everybody knows that. And she can hum a good tune. So keep her. Right? She's not the source of the honey. She's not the pot of honey. Okay? Everybody knows this. Anyway, let's keep going here. Do you support Kash Patel? Do you support the firing of Pam Bondi? I do. I hope the next AG will release these files. Now, I found that funny because the next thing Thomas Massey said, as they have appointed a new, apparently they've appointed a new AG, or at least there's talks of it. I want to say Blanchard, maybe. And the first thing Thomas Massey says, he says, congratulations, you now have 30 days to release all of the files. He's like, or you will be in violation of the Transparency Act. So, little bit of heat this guy has. And he's no better than Pam Bondi. He's exactly the same thing, if not even worse. So, you have that. Then there's also speculation that he might be getting rid of Tulsi, which is crazy. I don't know. We might see. We might have to see what happens here. People are saying that this might happen. I think she should just resign. If there's even a chance of that happening, I think she should resign and do the exact same thing that Joe Kent did. I think that would be the best thing. Right? So, Trump poll advisors about replacing Tulsi as intelligence chief. I didn't read this whole thing because I've been seeing this. I just wanted to have the headline for you guys to see here. But I mean, there's a whole lot of talk about a bunch of people. As the president remarks, he has confidence in Director Gabbard and the tireless work she is doing. He has assembled the most talented and impactful cabinet ever, and they have collectively delivered historic victories on behalf of the American people. So that is where he's at with it, but that's where he was at with Pam Bondi too. He was like, she's great. She's doing a great job, fantastic job. No need to get rid of her. And then he got rid of her. And then as he's getting rid of her, he's just like, she's a patriot. She's great. So the same thing might happen with Tulsi, might happen with Kash Patel, which is absolutely crazy. More firings have taken place. I don't know if you guys heard this. Pete Hegseth got rid of 2 generals, I believe. He forced he asked one U.S. Army Chief of Staff, Randy George, to step down and take immediate retirement with no reason given whatsoever. So let's listen to this quickly.
On, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ousted another senior military officer.
I, Randy George.
With more than a year left in his term, the U.S. Army's Chief of Staff General Randy George has been asked to step down by the Pentagon. No reason was provided for the dismissal.
General Randy A. George will be retiring from his position as the 41st Chief of Staff of the Army, effective immediately. The Department of War is grateful for General George's decades of service to our nation. We wish him well in his retirement.
Before becoming the U.S. Army's top uniformed officer in 2023, George served in the First Gulf War as well as Iraq and Afghanistan. He was also Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's top military aide from 2021 to 2022 during the Biden administration. This is the latest sacking among the U.S. military's top brass during the second Trump presidency.
So, what it's looking like to me is that they're just getting rid of anybody who possibly is not for what they're currently doing. Hegseth fires more generals. He says Hegseth fires 2 more generals, Dan Hoden and William Green Jr., alongside the Randy George that we just saw. So they're just getting rid of people left and right. So I don't think it's that crazy to think that Kash Patel could be up for firing. Of course, people are betting on this because it's 2026. And what else do you do but bet on every single thing? Because we live in a world of pure degeneracy. Okay? Did you guys see Tim Dillon in his most recent podcast? He had a pair of prosthetics on and he was bouncing them up and down. And I loved it. It's the kind of world we live in 2026. It's ridiculous. I watched almost the whole thing with my wife. We were just in the car watching. Kash Patel projected to be ousted as FBI director. 60%. It happens before summer. I don't know. I think it might happen this week. If they're already firing people, I don't think they're just going to slow down. They're just going to get rid of everybody they need to get rid of. I've seen this administration. They kind of just operate real fast that way. They're like, okay, if you don't agree, let's get someone that does quickly so we can keep on moving here. I don't know if they keep them into summer, you know? That's, I love his face there. Just draped in honey. Just draped in honey. Always soaked in honey. Kash Patel of the FBI. So that's what we have for you guys. I just want to play this. Okay. I love this guy. Okay. I'm gonna end it with this before I jump into the super chats because I love this guy. I think this guy is great. If I could get through the language barrier, because it seems like this guy only speaks French, I want to have this guy on the podcast so badly. Check this out. I'm going to do a lot of pausing, but check out this video he just made. And that's the clip, Lance. That's it. This is a different thing. So that's the tattoo that this guy has. It's working for NASA. Locking in those astronauts, quote unquote. So that's the type of tattoo he has. It's clearly a satanic tattoo. And he's going to the Blue Origin crew. Check this out. Check out their logo. Bang. Flipped upside down. It's the head of the goat. Let him show you. Space Force, also head of the goat.
It is the highest high.
It's the highest high. Artemis. This just happened just, I don't know, in the past few days. Artemis. Kanye completely upstaged Artemis.
We're going to the moon.
Let me just show you that one more time, that image, okay? So these are some Masons here. If you notice this, if you have Gmail, right? Doesn't that look like Gmail? Interesting, huh? All right, let's keep going. So he's matching up their uniforms here. Check it out. Interesting. They both have the things that go down like that. Down like that. They don't have the aprons as well. Astronauts don't have aprons, but I see where he's going. Then he bang, bang. Apollo 11. The height, 322 feet tall. And that is the Skull and Bones logo. And that is the number that they have on their logo. I mean, I love what that guy does. This is his actual page, Dimitri Revolt. His @ is Revolt. Sorry, it's Reality Revolt. I think that guy's just incredible. I love the work that this guy does. Love what he does. He has like a 5-hour docuseries. I don't know what it's about. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I do plan on watching it, but I just think everything that guy does is so cool. When he connects dots in such a weird, crazy way. It's so weird the way that guy just puts things together. And then just to go back, did I close it all? Oh, I hope I didn't close it all. This guy, unlike the president, This guy made sure to do this on Passover, not on Easter. Look at this guy. Still sending messages. That's Kanye. Still sending messages. But yeah, that's what I had to show you guys. I really want to show you guys the whole panel of science and technology, but I want to do it right, and I want to show you a glimpse into each one of their minds. So I want to just do that properly. So I planned on showing it to you today, but I just want to do it right. I'm getting inspired by and just so you know, that's like a real thing, right? Like this is legit. That's the dude. Nothing wrong with having tattoos on your hands, you know? Nothing wrong with that. And then he also has, you know, these little elements. Like if you look at his whole hand, he has like these elements. Like a satanic thing. Interesting. Very interesting. But I just want to do that right. A little inspired by Baron, you know. You want to get things like locked in properly. So I'm going to make sure to lock that in properly, so everybody gets to see exactly why I feel the way I do when it comes to these guys. And that's it. Let's jump into these super chats here. I hope you guys had a great weekend. You know, I know it was short. I know it was, because mine was short. It wasn't that short. It wasn't that bad. You know, I had a good time. I always have a good time on the weekends. I get to eat stuff. I get to sit. I get to sleep for 10 hours at a time, which is wild for me. I never get to do that. I'm going to make sure to do it this week, though. I'm getting my sleep in. I'm going to act like I'm 50 years old and I need to go to bed early, you know? Mark, friend of the show, sending out memberships. What's going on, Mark? Mark again, sending out a membership. What's going on, Mark? Mark again, making it rain. Thank Mark in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Cuckoo Saget says, Coach, you have the kindest soul. I hope you know how brightly you shine. Oh, thank you so much. What a way to start a super chat. Mark making it rain, and then someone tells me I have a kind soul. Thank you so much. And I'm shining bright. Do I have glasses here? Oh, I would have done the future too bright joke. KJ Texas. Finally got to watch a live stream. Normally, I'm on Spotify. Love the show. Keep up the great entertainment and news. Thank you very much. Mark, huge congratulations to Whitney and Joel on their engagement. Absolutely amazing. The ring looks incredible. Joel, you've done a fantastic job. Thank you guys so much for sharing that news with everybody. I hope everybody says congratulations. It is truly an incredible thing to see. Fleet, congratulations, my darling squashes. Whit and Joel, ring, love you both so much. Heart. Thank you so much, Fleet, for sending that out there. Again, congratulations. Absolutely amazing. Can't wait. Hope you guys get married. When are you guys getting married? Get married fast. Get married fast, and then, you know, why not? Me and my wife got married real fast. I forget when we got engaged, but we got married like soon after. I was like, I'm not waiting a year. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I already know I want to marry the chick. Like, what am I doing here? I already got a ring. I'm like, what are we waiting for? Let's go. I went fast. I feel like it was, honey, if you're in the chat, tell me how long it was. I feel like it was 3 months we waited. We were like, yeah, let's get this show on the road, boy. I think it was less. It might have been less. I remember because it was my last movie gig. I wanted to stop working in film and television, but the last gig I took, I was like, I'm going to save up the money to get her a ring. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to stop working in film and television because I don't want to get divorced because the hours are insane. So, J-Berg, yeah, so it must have been September, October, November. So I must have done it in like November or something. Yeah, it was like 3 months. J-Berg, great job with Zach, Coach. As an Italian-American and from one prodigal son to another, accept this forehead kiss from another man in Rasta's name. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, there was a Rasta gentleman who ended his super chat with a kiss And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? You're ending it with like a little smoochy there. And I made fun of him a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And yeah, the Zach conversation was a very fun conversation. Very interesting conversation. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We went 4 hours. Initially, I told him 2.5. I'm like, if you can lock in for 2.5 hours, that'd be great. He was like, yeah. And then he got a feel for it, which is how I usually get most people. Most people, they usually don't want to do a long time. They're like, I don't know. And then I get them in a little bit of a feeling good. And then they say, you know what? We can go longer. So we went long. Candace should play this clip every time someone shows the list of turning points of lies. The list of turning point lies. It's Charlie Kirk telling Andrew, we don't lie. Tucker Carlson hosts the Candace Owens show. What? Tucker Carlson hosts the Candace Owens show September 19th, 2025? No. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Andrew says we don't lie. Tucker Carlson hosts. Are you saying Tucker Carlson was hosting one of the shows? No way. What are we talking? One of Candace's shows? Nah. That didn't happen. Did it? That's a trip if it did. I don't think it did, though. Anyway. Anyway. But yeah, I've heard Charlie, aside from Andrew Colvett, I have heard Charlie say we don't lie many times. I've heard him say that a bunch, actually. Yeah, we don't lie. We don't lie. I've heard him say that a lot. I hope you had a nice Easter. I did. Ruby Niemojuski. I did. We had a great Easter. Church was fantastic. You know, a lot of connections made there. You know, people excited for us to have the baby. You know, there's some friends that we have there. They have a little baby. Little baby seems like 6 months old. There's a bunch of new babies in the church. So it's amazing to be a part of that community, you know. Mark, I wish Fleet's video didn't cut off before I was appointed chief stake officer. Well, you know, don't worry. Just talk to Barron about it. Candace knows you. They'll get you in there. Don't even worry about it, you know. Great show. Great Joe Rogan show. Coach Columbo. Colin. I'm Columbo. No, Barron's Columbo. And one more thing about Joe Rogan. Perhaps all of you don't know, but I'll let you know a little something about Mr. Joe Rogan. Yeah, when it comes to Joe Rogan, I definitely know my stuff. I can tell you that much, you know. Praying he didn't hoodwink me, but so many people are always like, oh, he's compromised, this, that. I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that about my boy. Don't talk about my boy that way, you know. So we're hoping, but know what it looks like. He knows everybody now, you know. Now he knows the DNI and the POTUS and the VP and the director and the, you know, he just knows all of them. And he won't have Candace on. And it's, it looks so bad. He called Theo crazy. I'm like, he said Jesus could be AI. And I'm like, you're killing me. Why are you doing this to me? But, you know, how it goes. As a Catholic country, we get Easter Monday off. Schools, banks, post office, and most of the shops are closed today, so we have a long weekend. Greetings from Croatia. What is going on in Croatia? I want to go there. Me and the wife are looking into going somewhere, you know, when the new baby's a little older. We want to go somewhere. We just don't know where to go, you know, but I want to go to a place like Croatia. It's amazing. Anna, what is this? Garib? Anna Garib? I think Joe Rogan mixed up the events. Yes, that's exactly what he said. He was hunting. Not Charlie. What? No, I explained this. Sweden. Hey, Sweden. Hey, Sweden Anna. Annie Sweden. I already explained this. I explained what Joe said. Joe said that he was up there when Jimmy Kimmel had his whole situation going on where he got canceled. and he confused Jimmy Kimmel with Charlie Kirk. Did you not see the whole bit I did? Sweden? What's going on, Sweden? Someone from Sweden, catch up this other Swedish person, please. But yeah, no, it's Jimmy Kimmel, not Trump. But it might be Trump as well, but it was Jimmy Kimmel that he was confusing. Which, you know, like I said, it makes perfect sense, right? Jimmy Kimmel and Charlie. They're just such similar people, right? EK really, Erica Kirk really trying to hide that manifestation of her demon side. She really makes my stomach churn and saying the Lord, our Lord, or yours. Was that supposed to rhyme, or did I say it like it rhymed? I know what you mean, though. A lot of celebrities do that, too. They'll be like, oh, the Lord, oh, God. And it's like, why don't you say Jesus? You gonna say Jesus at all? No? It's like, what are you talking about then? Why don't you tell us what you're talking about? They never want to tell you what they're talking about. You know? They never want to tell you. Anyone Googled from that place, looked into ASAP? Well, check it out. Heather, also known as Rachel. She goes by both. I can't believe our prez talked like that. Absolutely disgusting. Well, I mean, he was clearly pissed. He's clearly excited, but I mean, it was just, I don't know, man. You got to think about that. You got to think about that. Somebody has to step in, right, and say something. You can't just kind of be like, I'm just gonna say whatever I need to say. You know, someone has to step in and be like, hold on, sir. We actually have to say something about Easter first. Say something about Easter first. Give it a little time to breathe, right? Say something good about Easter first. Give it 4 hours, right? And then post that. You know, people be like, okay, well, he did the Easter post and now he's pissed. Okay. But that's what you come out with? You come out swinging with that? Holy. It shows you that something's going on. It shows you that something's really happening. You know, I watched the Jimmy Dore episode where he was talking about, they're basically talking about how it's not going as well as they're projecting, as they're saying, as they're telling everybody, that it's actually not going that great. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how people could actually know that for sure, unless they have people on the ground in the Middle East. But that is one of the things that's rumored right now. And it shows it in what he's saying. It's like there's no need for him to get this way if they're winning. I don't know. His Easter message makes me sick, especially since my nephew is deployed over there. Hope everyone had a blessed weekend. Well, I'm sorry to hear that about your nephew. You know, it's great that he's serving his country. Not great when it goes from serving a country to serving oil interests. That's when it gets real bad. When it's just the interest of some guys or another country completely. That's when it sucks. But at least he has that bravery inside of him. I always say I don't have that bravery inside of me. So, you know, good on him for doing what he thought was right. And hopefully, you know, people up the chain start doing what they think is right as well. You know, and he comes back safe. Thank you also for sharing that. Waking up dumb 6 times. Wow. All right. My brain keeps insinuating that Mitt Romney and Wayne Rooney are somehow related, but if I learned anything in the past 7.5 months, it's that I'm right. Well, check. They could be. I see what your brain's doing there. Mitt Romney, Wayne Rooney, right? Could be the sound of the names alone, but check. You have a hunch. You have something inside of you that's telling you that. Just check it out. I bet if you check it out, you'll find something you never thought you'd find before. Yeah. Hi from England, coach. Love your show, your humor, and your wisdom. Keep me going in these dark days. You make me LOL all the time. Jump scare. There you go. That's exactly what that person sounds like, just so you know. For sure. Thank you so much as well. Appreciate you. Legendary Bree. I sent that post to my still president supporting parents and said, How nice. An Easter Sunday. They didn't respond at all. Yeah, they thought it was fake. They're like, why is she sending us fake things like that? Why would she do that? They don't believe that's real. They're like, get out of here. They're like, he wouldn't do that. He would never do something like that. Obviously. It's so funny. I hope and pray the rest of the world understands. The majority of us do not at all support his behavior. I think that's a known thing throughout most countries. I think most of the population understands that the things that are happening because of a few, not because of a many. It's rare that you see, any population clearly just all agreeing with what the government's doing. Very rare. I haven't seen that with a country. It's not happening in the Middle East. It's not happening in Iran. It's not happening in any of those places. Yeah. There's always a split. And sometimes it's way more than you think. And sometimes because you don't have access to their news, they're way more vocal than you think. And you're just not seeing it, Like Lance sent me this thing about that little place in the Middle East. And, greatest ally. And Bibi was like in this place where I don't know, their parliament, their Congress, their Senate, I don't know. But they were all yelling at him and they were accusing him of some pretty crazy things. They were like, you did this thing in October. They're like, you're responsible. They were saying crazy things. I was like, wow, you never hear this. Like this, the news. The news in North America never talks about this thing. And he's sitting there and he looks evil as they're saying it to him. Oh, it's wild. It's wild. Anyway. But yes, I think people understand that. And plus, there's so much connectivity, right? You can talk to someone in Sweden. You can talk to people who are in these other places. You can get a feel. You see people do it all the time. It's usually like a younger people's platform. I forget what it's called. But it's a platform where like you randomly get matched up with people and you can like set it to certain, like you want to only encounter people from this part of the world. And then it'll just randomly switch and you can skip people. I forget what it used to be called. Omeglet. It's some or Megli or something like that. It's called something different now, but you can easily jump on there and you'll see, you'll talk with people. People are normal. People are normal throughout the world, just had to let you know the Fleet song, I Know Black is my 2.5-year-old kid's favorite song at the moment. That's amazing. That is amazing. That is so good to hear. I know black, nunca, nunca, no black, nunca, nunca, no black, nunca, I know black, papi. Someone said to change the picture of Joe Rogan with a picture of Barron. Yeah, maybe if it's just the face, we have Barron. I've seen him make faces similar to this. I think I could catch him, I could catch him in a good face. Welcome to the crew, Sarah. Welcome to the Mint Daddy crew. See you on Tuesday. Not even after Candace. We might do it a little earlier because Candace is off. So we might just do it a little earlier. Definitely before Barron goes live. Coach, I can't stop laughing. He tasted the cinnamon bun and thank you for all you do, Team Tinfoil Speedo. Thank you so much, Yulu, we hi, Yulu, we hi. That has to be how you pronounce that. I feel like that's one of those names that's like up for interpretation. Like, however someone says it is how it's pronounced. But yeah, that guy was crazy. That guy, just drag him into the street. There's a trial. What are you talking about? Back in my day, back in the 80s, we didn't have trials. Oh, we would just find a guy, see, and we'd just say, hey, buddy, we know what you did was wrong. Come here. What? No, that's not what they did. Anyway, you see these Lego videos allegedly from Iran? No, I have not seen any Lego videos yet. Tag me. Murderissa Murata? Okay, anyway. My very first super chat ever on any channel. Congrats to you and your wife on the new baby that's coming. Best of luck. Love your show. Thank you so much. Murderissa Murra. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. Waking up dumb 6 times. Welcome to the crew. That might have been one of Mark's memberships. Say hello to Mark. Thank him in the comments. What is this? Jehala Cree. Jehala Cree. Also, have to add, you make me laugh every live. I tell everyone about your channel. My mom started watching too, allegedly, maybe, perhaps. That is wild. Your mom started watching. What did you tell them? Did you just say like, oh, this guy's funny? I would love to know. You know, you always hear what the people who don't like you think about you, but you never hear what the people who do like you think. Like, what did you tell her? Did you tell her there's this guy and he just talks about mints and he does impressions and then he tells you some things? Like, well, how did you break it down? How'd you sell it? How'd you sell it to your mom? Let me know. Love to hear that story. Diana Owens? Diana Owens? Oh my gosh, it's Candace's. This is a Candace relative, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Colvette said they were offered an AI Charlie early on while co-hosting Charlie's show. They talk too much. They've been they've told on themselves already. I choose baby number 2 to take over. Baby coach number 2 to take over Turning Point USA. Well, you know what? Yeah, they would do better. They would do better than what they're doing right now. That's for sure. Way better PR if our newborn baby took over Turning Point. Things would make way more sense. Way more sense. You know? But yes, they were offered an AI Charlie. I know exactly what you're talking about. Andrew did say exactly that. Said that they were offered an AI Charlie and that they talked about it extensively. And then he was just like, nah, you know, we just didn't take it. In fact, if anybody can find me that clip, please let me find it. Or please bring it to me and we'll talk about it tomorrow because that would be great to talk about. But yes, you're 100% right. David J, 1297. Some people deserve a good cinnamon rolling. But to talk about ending someone's life on TV just shows how clinically insane these people are. Hit the like button, people. Love you, coach and family. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. It helps tremendously. If everyone hit the like button right now, and there were 7,000 likes, it would just boost this video into the next stratosphere where Andrew and Blake and all sorts of people would see it, you know? Some people need a good cinnamon rolling. That's amazing. Oh, there she is. Steph 007. Team Theo. Rogan completely sold out and showed his true colors. Oh, geez. Love me some Theo Vaughn before and love him even more now. He's also good friends with Candace and her family. Just so you know, he's good people. Yeah, 100%. 100%. He's been friends with her for a while. I think since before they even did a podcast together. But maybe that was the meeting of the minds that took place kind of thing. But yeah, they're close. They're close. And, you know, Rogan does things like this from time to time where he'll say something and you're just like, oh, man, this guy. And but here's the thing. He'll say it with someone and it's something that he has said. When it's directed to someone that people love, it hits different. That's the thing. It hits people way different. And people have really taken up for Theo. People really love Theo, right? Like I said, the guy gave me a copyright strike. I still love Theo. I'm still like, yeah, Theo's great. Theo's great. You know what I mean? And it was undeserving as well. Luckily, we were able to talk it out. But, I mean, and again, able to talk it out because he's actually a good guy, right? Yeah, so it's just interesting that he would do that. And again, I've seen him do this before with people. I saw him do this with Eddie Bravo. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, this is your guy. Like, this is a guy you've known for 30 years. Why are you dismissing everything that he says? And it turns out we're in 2026. Everything, well, not everything, but 90% of what Eddie was saying when he was on the podcast, he was right about. 90% of what he was saying. that they were dismissing him and calling him crazy and getting annoyed with him. He was right the whole time. It's so crazy. So it's like now you're doing the same thing to Theo. Theo's clearly right. And then a lot of people pointed out the fact that Jamie couldn't actually, mysteriously, couldn't actually find certain things that Theo was pointing out. You know, there were certain things that Theo was trying to tell Joe about, and then Jamie would be like, oh, I can't find it. Oh, yeah, just looking for it. You know, like that type of thing. And it's like everything else he finds in a second. But when it comes to what Theo was talking about with Palantir and all these different things, all of a sudden he can't find these things. It's like, why are you guys playing them like that? You know? I don't know. I've seen him do the same thing with Sam Tripoli as well. It's like, why do that to your guys? Like, these are your guys. These are the guys that will support you even if everything goes away. These people who are writing random posts like, hey, quit being a jerk to Joe Rogan, they're not going to be with you through the real thick and thin. If it really went down, those are your guys. They'll really be with you. You know? I don't know. Weird. But yes, you're right. Holy Fire Luna. Speaking of bits, my hub wants to move to Austin in a year to plant the next church and try his hand at clean comedy. It's doable. It's definitely doable. We watch Kill Tony regularly, and he started open mics. Any advice from a pro like yourself? I don't know if I'm a pro. I'm definitely not a pro. But I mean, I know how to talk. I know how to talk really well. If you're at an open mic, it's the same philosophy I have with doing this stuff. Don't build yourself up into more than you actually are. Whenever I talk to someone and they're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, I say, okay, well, you know, make 500 episodes and then look up and see where you are. Don't expect to make it after 10. Don't expect to be good after 20 or 30 or 100. Do 500 and then you'll know. The lesson is learned in doing the 500. There's nothing that anyone can tell you. And your voice is found as you do more and more. So just focus on doing that. That's it. Focus on just taking as much time as you can to just doing the bits and making content. Just making the bits, making them 5 minutes. Stay close, stay tight to your time. Because you're gonna run into people who are showrunners and they don't want you to be over your time, and they definitely don't want you to be under your time. So make sure you're solid at your 5 minutes. If they say you got 5, you got 5. It's not you got 4 or you got 7. You got 5, and that's it. And you know, you'll go into open mics and you'll see people suck, and that should give you confidence because everybody sucks at the beginning. So and just keep doing it, you know. And yeah, don't think of yourself as more than you are. You're just somebody who's doing open mics. Don't try and build yourself up into anything. Just like here, it's like don't try and build yourself up to like, you know, I'm the premier most investigator of this whole thing. Like, just relax. You're making videos. You're on YouTube. You're on the same platform as Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast is dominating you with dumb videos. So just like calm down. There's a kid right now who's like doing Zoom calls where he goes into Zoom calls and he's like, my name, and he's dominating you in views and exposure and everything. So it's like, don't think of yourself as too much. That's the only advice I have. And keep doing it. Don't stop. And also, a good thing that I've learned, somebody told me this. So sometimes, and it's hard to do in 5 minutes, but you see that silence? That silence is not happening to me. I'm doing that to you. So when you see someone, even if they're a creator on YouTube or they're a comedian, and they go silent like that, they're doing something to you when that happens. It's not something that you're going through. So anytime you want to embrace the silence, you know, don't laugh in between your jokes. That's what somebody told me, but I always do it because I'm having a really good time. But embrace the silence and let that silence sit because it's something that the crowd goes through and they like it as long as you come with something that's good on the other end. So always think about that. That silence, it's okay. It's okay. You know, take a second. You know, they just laughed about something. Take a second. Take a couple beats and then get into the next thing. Because then they start listening. They're really listening about what the next thing is. And that's what you want. You want them hanging on your words. That's all I have in terms of comedy. And don't recreate the wheel. Find someone else who's doing clean comedy. See what they do. Don't steal their jokes, but see how they do it, where they do it, and things like that. So, Sir Manny Angel, hey coach, check out Discord. I tagged you in a recommendation for replacing that picture of Joe Rogan. You'll get a kick out. I think I saw it. I'm pretty sure that was the one that I saw there. Silence is okay in ministry as well. Someone just said that. Exactly. You probably already know that, right? Silence is okay. Let people think. Let people take in what you had to say. Let them get ready for what you have to say next, you know? I've had trouble with that quite a bit. You know, that's something that I've learned from Barron. Barron said he has learned a lot from watching my show. That's one thing I've watched. That's one thing I've learned from watching his show. Sometimes he'll just go, and I'm like, get to the next thing. But he's like, no, it's like, be nice and quiet, then get to the next thing. You know, you gotta have that patience to do that type of thing. But I did see your picture. Thank you so much. It's great, and I might do it. A picture of Candace about to say the F word is actually real solid. She's like, I think that's actually really smart. That could be the picture. That in black and white, you know? Like it's a Black heritage moment. And that was the day that young Candace Owens told small Ben Shapiro to F off. It was quite the day, and she also told him to take the horse that he rode in on as well, the tiny horse. It was a day that will live in everyone's mind forever. The day that Candace decided swear words were very needed. You know, little heritage moment for everybody. Lance throws out a membership. Thank you, Lance. Lance throws out another one. Thank you, Lance. Fleet throws out one. Fleet throws out another one. Making it rain on you guys. Anyway, let's keep going. Ferguson. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Ferguson, the 2 weeks, I think that's 2 weeks, Charlie Kirk's mentor was hospitalized and took off life support. AK was appointed to the visitors board. What did he know? Silence, financial gain. I would love to know what he knew or what he was about to say. Like sometimes you hear something happen, like for those of you that don't know, he's talking about, I believe his name's Jeff Webb. Jeff Webb passing away from the pickleball accident. Something happened to him in pickleball and he was hospitalized and then he passed away. He's taken off life support, like this says right here. Sometimes you see people like this and you figure out, oh, they're about, like, here's a great one. Diddy has this ex-wife, right? It's a woman that I think he had twins with, right? Beautiful girls. And her name was Kimberly. Kimberly was about to write a book. It was going to talk about her life with Diddy, and she was going to talk about all the things we know about him today. And she was going to write this book. And then she had the exact same thing happen to her that happened to Brittany Murphy, that happened to so many other celebrities, and she passed away. But, like, that was the thing. She was about to release this book. Now the book's gone. Everything's gone. But she was about to release it. And then she passes away. I just wonder if there was anything like that with him. If he had anything he was about to do. What was the last thing he said? I would love to know that. And I haven't been able to find anything. So we'll never know. Heather, welcome new members. Fleet and Lance throwing those memberships out. AK in the chat. Was it AK? Yeah, wow. I know Black Poppy. I didn't know. I know Black Poppy. I. Hit that like, ladies and gentlemen. Helps us tremendously. Charlie Sheen was feeding lines to the host, Joe Rogan. He was acting and poorly. That's what, you know what I mean? That's what it seemed like with them. They were in that back and forth. I was like, what is this? I'm like, why is, because the whole thing, because I know the Charlie Kirk investigation. I know the timing. If it just happened, you don't know anything, because none of us did. When Charlie first got hit, there was no idea who did it, because the only person, we weren't even at the point of when Kash Patel paused the manhunt, and he paused it because he thought he had somebody, but then he didn't have somebody, and then after 33 hours, et cetera, we weren't even there yet. So what had happened was George Zinn, like I said, I'm making a joke, but George Zinn was the only person in custody. George Zinn is a hard Republican. So how do you even have the narrative at that point that it was someone who had a different opinion than him? How do you have that? How do you have that narrative when you have George Zinn? Doesn't make any sense. The whole thing makes no sense. How they had that narrative locked and loaded so quickly. Someone's like Charlie Sheen was feeding him lines. Yeah, because Charlie had it first. Charlie said it. He's like, imagine that, because someone had a different opinion than you. It's like, how do you even know? There's no way that they could know at that time. Because I know what timing it was. Charlie was hit. He's hit at like 12:23. By the time they get him to the hospital, it's 12:30. We have the SD card guy saying he's dead as he's getting loaded in, but he doesn't actually know. Then when he gets to the hospital, Andrew Colvette I think he's telling Candace or someone that there's still a pulse. And then they announce that he's passed. So there's no way Joe knew, because he found out that he passed while he was on the show. So you have no clue what the narrative is at that point. No clue. How did they know? What a wild assumption to make. Could have been money. Could have been anything. Could have been a friend. At that point, you have no idea. But somehow they knew that it was someone who had a different opinion than Charlie. What? Hoodwinked. I got hoodwinked again, ladies and gentlemen. This guy got me. You know, like Lefty. You ever seen Donnie Brasco? Tell Donnie. Tell Joe. If it was anybody, I'm glad it was him, okay? Just tell him that, okay? Tell him that for me. You know? I'm glad. Anyway, let's keep going here. Toyoki. Mortal Kombat Ultra. Sparkle Widow Fatality. She's like, blow sparkles in your face. They're acidic. You know? You win. Zamet. Rogan pushed back on Theo. Hot roof. What the F? Yeah, it was weird. It was weird because Theo is not just... Theo used to be a guy who was just saying things. He's not just saying things anymore. He has research to back it up now, right? I'm not saying Theo's like Candace level research, but he's looking into what he talks about now because he wants to be right. He's expressed this a lot, that he wants to be right. And if he's wrong, he wants to correct it. But it was hot. It was hot. Charlie was in a t-shirt. So was everybody. So was Tyler Robinson, allegedly. Right? Everybody. George Zinn had his pants around his ankles. You know how hot it has to be? For you to have your pants around your ankles while the police are trying to bring you into custody? USA guy had a t-shirt on. SD guard guy had a t-shirt on. The great, majestic, hips, wild Mikey McCoy had a t-shirt on. Of course it was hot. Come on. It was hot. Theo was right about that. He pushed back on it a lot. Don't know why. Don't know why. I don't know. Lance. I do have tissues. I'm using them. I don't care how unprofessional it is. Oh, gosh. Anyway. Lance throws another membership. Crazy. Lance is going nuts out there. Vanity. I had a dream. Erica sold. Oh my God. Oh gosh. What a dream you have here. I had a dream Erica was selling rocks out of the back of an ice cream truck for adults. And if they owed her money, they disappeared. That's a dream you had? I mean, I think you need to take a vacay like Candace. You need to unwind. That is a wild dream to have, sir. That is a very wild dream. Erica's just out there like, here you go, yo. You know, just the ice cream, get the soft serve. Soft serve, take that. Hold that. Hold that. Hold that. Yeah. Hey, yo. For that soft serve last week, where's it at? I gave you 4 soft serves last week. Where's it at? She's just mad at people, making them disappear. A never seen before episode of The Wire. The Wire, Utah. You know? Not all wonders are lost. I like that. Food for thought. Rogan and Sheen could have been in Utah hunting because his wife was there on the 10th as the planner. Sheen's kid and ex-wife live there. Still weird. Really? What? Charlie Sheen? Well, he definitely wasn't hunting. Wait, did he say he was with Charlie Sheen? No. He said he was out in Utah. Did he say he was with Charlie Sheen? That'd be crazy. That's an odd pairing. I would never trust Charlie Sheen with a rifle. Yeah, right. I don't care how sober he says he is. I would never do that. But yeah, and his wife was there on the 10th as a planner. No. I think you're confused. His wife was there as a planner? That doesn't make any sense. A planner for what? Planner for a turning point? No. That's not right. His wife and kids still live there. His now wife? His ex-wife doesn't live there. Denise Richards lives in Beverly Hills. Someone said, am I green? Yes, you're green. Was that Sonia? Yes, Sonia, you're green. Ferguson, Candace Owens should feel honored of the billions of people in the world. Her opinion is the only one that Blake Nerf Bald cares / fears what she thinks about. Yeah, it is true. Well, actually, no, it's not true because Blake also seems to care what Barron thinks about too as well. Blake will often reply to Barron. Blake, actually, I feel like Blake might reply more to Barron than he does to Candace. Think about that. Zamet, welcome to the crew. Look up Keith Green, 1970s to 1980s Christian singers who sings Ring the Bells, Hear the Bells Ringing. Passed away in a plane crash. Reminds me of MJ with Pay What You Can. I'll check it out. Love Heals. OG, thank you very much. Like your profile picture. Whoa, bunch of stuff just popped out. Look at these people throwing memberships around, just tossing memberships. Appreciate you. Hold on, we're just going right back up. So, I'll check that out. Kanye, C. Gonzalez, Kanye, Hollywood Files, people in power equals the same. I guess. I don't know. F cancel culture was tacky to say anything about antidepressants. Well, they talked about it. You know, Theo was saying he wanted to stop taking them. Here's the thing. Theo says, hey, I'm thinking about not taking these anymore because I just want to feel. I want to feel things. I want to feel the way I'm supposed to feel. Theo's having a real awakening. So he's like, I just want to feel the way I'm supposed to feel. So they have this little conversation about it. Now, even with that, okay, and, you know, take into the effect that Joe is a comedian. They do joke around a lot. But Theo says that very real statement that he puts out there, right? And then Joe throws the depressant thing in his face by saying, we got to get you off of those. You're losing your marbles. I don't know, man. I feel like that's not what you say to your friend after he just told you he wants to get off these things and he wants to feel what he wants to feel. And then he says some real stuff that he knows to be real because he's hanging out with Candace and Brett Cooper and all sorts of good friends. And then you're telling him as he's opening up on this platform that he's losing his marbles. I mean, it's just not the thing to do. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a comedian too. I don't know. I wouldn't be throwing that at him like that. That's just me. But like someone said at the beginning, I have the kindest soul, right? Danovision, member for 1 month. See you on Tuesday. Leave the pickup, coach, unless you're quitting JR altogether. Don't give in to the hive mind cancel culture crap. You don't have to agree with him all the time. Bernie was a good example. Yeah, him believing in Bernie was a good example. Yeah, it's still a good example. He still believes in Bernie. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I'm not yeah, the picture's there for now. I mean, eventually you do have to change things, right? Eventually I'm going to be like in a legit studio, or, own a house and then have it, the room that I'm in, made into a legit studio. Like, so eventually things will change. But also it's like I have to find the right piece of art to be behind me. I like these because I just made these randomly. Like, I just messed up this picture and then I just put Joe Rogan's face on it. Now I was like, okay, that's a thing I can have behind me. Because otherwise I just had a white wall when I first started. And then I did this picture and I messed this up. That's why the eyes are gone. But then I liked it because it was like, it's like a big elephant in the room, but like it sees no evil because its eyes are gone. And then I did the same thing here with the elephant in the room as well, Anthony Bourdain, and his eyes are gone because his last tweet is across them. So they're just things that just happened randomly. They were just little things of me being resourceful, so I like them. But we'll see, things change. Coach. Like, I definitely don't have to have the picture up there just because I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. You know what I mean? Not everybody who listens to Joe Rogan's podcast has a picture of him on their wall. Mrs. Lacey, 22. Coach, first, what did you coach? Or just a nickname? New here. Second, what is the artwork over your left shoulder? Oh, I just explained that. I didn't even read that. Thanks for the last PS. Please do more Tatum impressions. Oh, yeah. I still got to call that voicemail. Definitely have to call that voicemail. What did I coach? I told you. Well, I don't know if I said this in. Well, actually, I know I've said it over the years, but I have like 2,000 episodes. But I was a habit formation coach. You could say life coach, whatever. But I was in a coaching program and I had to make a clear declaration of what I wanted to do with my life. So I was like, what a clear declaration than to call myself Coach Colin on my YouTube channel, because my YouTube channel, although it only had 168 subscribers at the time, it was a big thing to me. So I changed the name to I Am Coach Colin because I wanted to make a big declaration. And that's what I would do with people. I would help people break habits. I would help them build new habits. I broke big habits myself, built new habits. And that was the thing that I thought was the biggest thing in people's lives that they don't realize is the habits that they have. Because the habits that you have will either turn you into a crack addict or they will turn you into a millionaire. It's all about the things that you do every single day and where those things lead, which is why I told the members this. I don't know if I said it here, but I do want to eventually put up the program that I used to have. Don't want anybody to pay anything. Obviously, it'll just be free. It's just a PDF. And put that program up and then have a space in the Discord where people can talk about what they're seeing with the program, how they're getting through it, the habits that they're creating in their lives, the habits that they're trying to break. And then you guys can all support each other in that. That is something that I really do want in the Discord. So yeah, that's a long answer of what I was doing beforehand. So I had a lot of clients. I think ending, I had like 50 clients. As I was ending it, there's like 50 clients and it was great. And a lot of those clients have become really good friends, like great friends. And it was a tremendous time. And I still have my own coach that I see every week. See him every Friday, actually. He's a great friend, Oliver. He's been on the podcast, actually. We've had like a 4-hour conversation, Oliver and I. So yeah, it's a really important thing that I was doing for a long time. Helped a lot of people. And yeah. So eventually that's going to be on the Discord or on my website, whichever makes more sense. Or maybe on both, maybe people don't know how to use Discord. And then people will be able to just access it and just do the thing and, talk about it with a community that understands, because that's a big thing. As much as I love laughing and I love making jokes, that's like a huge part of my personality. But also another big part of my personality is like personal development. Like I'm really into making myself better. And that's from years of being really sad and not having any skills and just feeling like I was just like a loser, and just slowly building up the skills and improving myself and improving my mindset. So those are two really big things in my life. Don't want to let go of it completely. So I'll make something for you guys. Free, of course. It'll always be free. I don't need to charge people for that type of stuff anymore. I don't want to charge people for that type of stuff anymore. Coach, when's the meet and greet? We'd all love one meet and greet. I don't know. I have no idea. Where'd you even do that, right? Where would I do that? I have no idea. I have to just start doing shows, and then that would be the meet and greet, you know? That's one thing I used to love. Joe Rogan used to do. A lot of people don't know this. When Joe Rogan was in comedy, I think this was as he was the Fear Factor guy, maybe coming away from being the Fear Factor guy. But every time he would do shows, and these weren't like giant arena shows, but he would stay and he'd shake everybody's hand. Everybody. It wasn't like he charged for a meet and greet. He would just stay behind and just be around for everybody to talk to. And he would get into arguments with people and he'd talk a bunch of smack. And Red Band would be there filming things and they would use it in like vlog material because it was a vlog before it was a podcast. And it was really, really cool. It was really, really interesting. So I think I would do something like that. Just hang back and chill in a comedy club. Ash of the Dead. Love you guys. God bless you all. Thank you so much. David G. Just one membership. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank him in the comments. Keith Tank. Your short vid for all 4 hours of the weekend go faster. Make all 4 hours of the weekend go faster. That's funny. Yeah, the weekend's short. It is short. It's short, but you can enjoy it still. Oh, and now you're a member. Look at you. Welcome to the crew. Jess Happy. Coach, you save my soul on the daily. Can't be sad when I watch you. Nothing's been the same since September 10th. I wasn't a CK follower, but watched some of his stuff before Candace. I felt a shift that I can't explain when Charlie Kirk was taken away from us. I knew something was very wrong. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very generous. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Very kind words. And I felt that shift too. I really felt that shift too when that happened. I was like what just happened? Again, I've talked about it before. I'm just like crying. In this video I'm trying to make, it was crazy. The emotional shift, whatever, like I really do lean towards the whole when Candace and myself, because I talked about it first, honestly. I do lean towards the whole ritual thing because the effect that it had, the shock waves that it sent through people emotionally were just so crazy. I was so upset when it happened. And I didn't even watch Charlie like that. I loved his speeches. I thought his speeches were cool. I thought the stuff he did on campuses was cool. I liked what he did. You know, I found it very interesting. You know, I thought you learned way more than you did from just regular debates because he wasn't debating like an Andrew Wilson or a Destiny. He was doing this different type of thing. I found it better than, you know, when Crowder was doing the whole change my mind thing. I found it way better. Something about it was way better. And yeah, when I saw that, I was like, holy. I was like, no way. It was crazy. The way I was like, I saw somebody say that he passed away like before everybody knew. It's actually Liberal Hive Mind. Liberal Hive Mind was one of the first people to be like, he's confirmed gone. I'm like, how does he know? And I was pissed. And I was like, why would that guy say that? And I was going through my phone. I remember being like, no. Like, why? Why was I like that? It was so weird. And I was just in tears. And I had to like scrap that video, make another video. It was wild. And even in the tribute videos I did, like I was still tearing up and stuff. I was like, it was such a weird shift that took place from that happening, which really makes me believe that it was some kind of weird ritual that took place. Really, really does. I don't know. That's what it feels like, especially knowing everything I do about the occult. Really weird. I posted a few images of the exterior of 33 in the animation Discord. Forgot to put that in my first super. I saw them. I commented on it. I said something. I said what I think it should be, like what that whole thing is. I don't know if you saw it in the animation Discord. I'm pretty sure I replied there. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Having it look the way that you made it, and then The whole idea that I said, we have to make that. We have to make that into a thing. I have to send you the audio, and we have to just map out a quick story of what that looks like, and we have to make that into a thing. We have to make that into like a 10, if possible, like 10, 15-minute episode. Something like that. And just start making those episodes. I don't know. There has to be some. We have to lay out what the shows could be, or if these shows all intertwine. But there's something. Yeah. Don't worry. We're doing things. You know. People are mad that I like Fleet over them. Well, Fleet's more talented than most of the people out there trying to do the same thing. What can I do? You know, she has the comedic flair as well. You know. What can you do? That's hard to learn that. You can learn it, but she had it like that. So what can I do? Dee in T-Town. Coach, help me understand why Yee parades his wife around naked. I don't get it. I don't get the Yee hype at all, but I want to understand. Well, she parades herself around naked. That's the first thing you have to understand. She does that. The same way that Kim didn't resist him turning her into a fashion icon, because that is what happened. She didn't do that on her own. He did that. That was his vision for her. She went and just took it to the next level and actually did what he was saying. But his wife does that on her own. Now, why does she do that? I don't know. Because she's into that kind of thing. Some ladies are like that. If you ever go down to Miami, you go to Club District area type, you will see many ladies doing the exact same thing. And it's not because they're bad people or anything. It's just that's what they choose to do. And if they're men, you know, the guys that they're with are down for that and they don't mind it, it's like, that's where you're at with it, you know? My wife wouldn't do that, right? But I'm also not down for that. Like, you know? So it's like this weird thing. But the hype is around the fact, like I said, he was in a slave contract. All these artists are in slave contracts. They keep on doing it to people. He called it out. They took away $11 billion from him, and he came back. He's still a billionaire. He has none of those contracts on him anymore. Usually, when you minus yourself from the industry just kind of, you know, you're pushed out of the industry. He wouldn't allow himself to be pulled out. He's not owned by anybody now. He doesn't take money from anybody now. Every single thing that he does, when he wants to make an album, he puts out clothes, makes millions of dollars, then puts out the album, then makes millions of dollars, just sold out a show, 80,000 people, did it multiple times, then makes millions of dollars. Guy's still a billionaire, owns everything. It's just his. All the masters from the music that he's making is just his. It's any artist that you've seen, I don't know, ever, they're in the same situation of being in these slave contracts. It is a thing that they're all in. Doesn't matter white or black. Doesn't matter hip hop or rock and roll. They are all being treated like absolute animals. And it's disgusting. And the fact that he was able to beat that machine, right? The fact that he was able to get into the mainstream still and not be owned by anybody. Now, those same people that tried to cancel him have to watch back. They have to watch it and just kind of sit there and take it and try to appeal to advertisers to minus their sponsorship of shows and stuff. Shows that he's doing something that not everybody gets to do. You know why Prince calls himself the artist, formerly known as Prince? It's because in a contract, they will say the artist. That's how they talk about you. The artist in perpetuity. The artist will be dipped in baby oil. The artist will be on a leash and be at our beck and call for the rest of his life. That's what they call the person, the artist. So when Prince realized that he was in one of these slave contracts and they had ownership of the name Prince and that they would not give it up and that he was trying to get into a better position contract-wise, he changed his name to the artist and started over again with all the knowledge that he had. And that's why he didn't get as big of a push. But by then, he was an icon. He was Prince, right? He's the only guy to go in a war, in a legit war that they both acknowledged between him and Michael Jackson. Nobody else got to do that with Michael Jackson. It's not even a thing. But Michael would always watch Prince. Prince would always watch Michael. It was actually an amazing thing to see. So he changed his name to the artist so he didn't have to be in that slave contract anymore. Lauryn Hill had to do something very similar. She minused herself from the music industry because she couldn't win that war. Kanye is one of the very few to win that war. And a lot of people that know about it understand that it's a really big thing. So that is the Kanye thing, just so you understand. That is the Kanye lore. This is why so many people enjoy Kanye. And then on top of that, makes incredible music. I don't even listen to all of it, but I know it's incredible. It's just nuts. So there you have it. There you have it. And also, he's the only one to confess that sacrifices actually do happen. He said it happened to him and his mom. His mom was one. He said Michael Jordan had one. He said Jay-Z. Like, he's named so many names in terms of what we've all suspected Hollywood to be deep inside of. So he's been a hero in that sense. That is that. It's a long answer of that. Easter is my favorite. Hope you and the family have a great day. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Jamie. Jamie's a firecracker, ladies and gentlemen. Texas Beach Girl, TC hosting Charlie Kirk show. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so we don't lie. So that was in Tucker. That was in Tucker's episode. Don't lie. Don't lie. Andrew. Okay, I'm revisiting that interview. I think I might be on Zach Costello's show talking about it, maybe. So I just want to see their body language when he says that. Blake's body language especially. Alpaca Renee, thank you so much, Alpaca Renee. Coach, congratulations on your new edition. On love. I can see the weight loss. Oh, thank you. You always look great. Keep up the great work. I pray the blessings of Jeremiah. Does that say Jeremiah or Jermaine? I think it's supposed to be Jeremiah. Am I wrong? No. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm for sure wrong. 2911 over you and your growing family. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. We have been working out heavily. We don't play around. It's been wild. The baby paints while I work out, and then when I'm resting, I paint with the baby, and we give mama a break for an hour or so every day, or most days at least. Boujewa. It's French, really. Boujewa? That's what this is? Kanda Boujewa? Really? Interesting. Okay. These people betrayed Charlie, inverted all his views, lie on a show with his name in it. How do they sleep at night? Go Max, Charlie IN? Charlie IN? What is that? Sick? Charlie IK. What is that? Charlie in Kirk? Somebody correct me. What does that mean? Charlie in Kirk? What is CIK? What is that? Anyway. What's going on? Is your BB slop backfiring? Yeah, it is a little bit. People are, Christ is King. I thought it had to do with Charlie Kirk. My bad. Christ is King indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you in the comments there. Yeah, the slop is backfiring. Definitely. People aren't going for it. I wonder this. Did they lie to the president after Charlie's passing to say, yes, Charlie said these things in the past, but see, look here, fake Charlie notes. He changed his stance. So the president thought it's okay. Let's go to war. I don't know, because a lot of people don't know. Charlie used to talk with the president twice a week. Twice a week, he would sit down with the president or have a conversation by phone. And it was to touch on what the base is going to accept and what they're not going to accept and what should be done in certain situations. And the war was one of them. So, I mean, if he was fooled like that, it would be ridiculous, because he literally had conversations with Charlie where Charlie is saying, you can't do this. This won't look good to the base, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope that's not what happened. Brandy B, funds for Mrs. Coach's chair, praying for you with the upcoming birth. Yes, we are all praying. Thanks for all you do, Coach. Much love. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Yeah, that chair. There was a chair I was gonna get her. Can't find it anymore. It was like a crazy chair with like a charger and cup holder and like all this different stuff, and now I can't find it. So I have to find it. Tagged, I am Coach Colin on the vids. Okay, so it's on X. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you. Moira. And just like that, I've become an official member for a month. Been here a bit longer, but I'm enjoying the coach and wifey and the amazing community. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Moira. Oh, she sent out a membership. There it goes. Boom. Thank you very much. Brandy B, please hit that like button. Much love to everyone. Thank you so much, Brandy. Appreciate you. Oh, more popped up. Let's go back up here. Let's go back up here. I'll go way back up. Way back up. There he is. All right. Almost done here, guys. Moira. JJ Rasta. J Bird got the joke. Yes. I got the joke too, but I had my own jokes to make. When I see a Rasta man giving forehead kiss to his brethren, I say, hold on a second. Hold on, man. Hold on, bad man. Bad man no give forehead kiss to him brethren. You know? I have Jamaican relatives. If I tried to kiss one of them on the forehead, they punch me in the mouth. Oh, what you try to do? Hey, what you try to do? Hey, you try to kiss me on the forehead? Hey, I not your daughter, boy. Boy, not your daughter, man. Oh yeah, it'd be a fight. It'd be a big fight. Fleet sends a membership. Lance another membership. Fleet another membership. Lance another. What are you guys? You guys fighting right now? You guys are having membership wars right now. Lance and Fleet, shout out. Teammates right there. Sonia Grasky. Thank you, Fleet. I am mint green. There we go. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, that's when I was telling you were green. Yeah, you're 100% green. 100%. Let's go back up here a little bit. Who we got here? What is this? Wavy Bodega. I like that name. For the only flavor ice cream that matters for Mrs. Coach, mint chocolate chip with peace and love from Connecticut 1. Mint chocolate chip. I didn't like mint chocolate chip at all. And then I had it. I think she had it once. Because she doesn't eat it too much. But I had it one time and I was like, oh, I actually like this. I actually like this a lot. So, but I just bought her ice cream. I bought her some like caramel ice cream. It had like little things of, it had like Rolos. You know those little things, like it's like a chocolate and there's caramel in it. It had that. The ice cream had that in it. It was crazy. Charlie Sheen, Joe Rogan show aired on the 11th. Yeah, it did. It aired on the 11th and they filmed it on the 10th. And somehow they were, they knew what was going on with Charlie. Amy Potter, welcome to the crew. Michael Eddy, Jesus was 33, kind of makes me think there is a lot in the Bible that is aligned with Charlie. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Yes, I think if you go through it all, there's a lot to Charlie's story. I think that's part of the reason why there was such a focus on him. I don't want to say he was like a messiah. I think he's their manufactured messiah. That's what they're using him as. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Honestly, I think it's way darker than it seems. Like when Candace goes on, she's showing us the shape of UVU and this and that. And I think that's not as crazy as people think it is. Crucial Cuts. What up from Salem, Oregon? Where are the creative claps? The creative claps? I don't have any creative ones. What do you mean, like sideways? Like I don't have many creative ones. I just have straight thunder claps. Is spelled pro paganda. Wow, how did I never see that? You're right. Propaganda. Wow. That's wild. Does nobody else think that's wild? I think that's crazy. Good catch. I'm a stick of dynamite, Coach. I know firecrackers, Poppy. Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Jamie. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys as well. We are just hitting the 3-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. Behind my head clap, I've been doing too many back exercises for that to work anymore. I do too many back exercises. Anyways, I got to get out of here, guys. I got to go be a dad. I have not got to see the baby. I left when the baby was sleeping, and I got to go see the baby and get my hugs, hopefully. Or the baby's just like melting down or something like that. Either way, I want to be there. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. We will be back tomorrow. We're also going to be doing a live in the members only tomorrow. We're going to be talking about some stuff. And I'm going to be showing you a clip from Dave Chappelle that a lot of you guys have not seen before. And it kind of touches on the whole slave contract thing that I was talking about. So, yeah, definitely check it out. It's going to be really fun. Then we're going to talk about some other stuff, conspiracy iceberg stuff. The wife will be there as well. And we're going to get this whole thing going. So thank you guys so much for being here. We truly, truly appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. Candace is off. I will be bringing you updates on Candace. And if I get any more odd cryptic messages,